Hey everyone, welcome to FanFic Canon. Thanks for hitting play. I'm thrilled to bring this fan-made story to life for you. If you enjoy the ride and want more narrated fanfics, smash, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss an episode. And if you want audiobook of a novel of your choice, join my Patreon. Request any title that's freely available online, and I'll produce a full narration just for you. Now, let's dive into today's adventure.
Two streaks of light slammed together in midair. Boom, the collision shook the heavens, splitting the sky apart. The shockwave tore through space itself, flattening everything for miles. Gohan was the first to be pushed back, boots grinding through the air as he steadied himself. The moment their fists met, he knew this enemy was different. The raw pressure radiating from Golden Cooler was terrifying, far beyond his Super Saiyan 4 form. "So this is your limit," Cooler sneered, his golden aura burning hotter. "Then let me show you mine," he blurred forward. But Gohan didn't retreat. He stepped in and drove his fist straight into Cooler's jaw. The impact twisted Cooler's head aside, but his knee shot up and smashed into Gohan's chest. Another explosion split the air. Both fighters spat blood and were hurled backward by the blast. And that was only the beginning. Heaven shatters, their auras ignited again, gold and violet, burning like twin suns. The battlefield vanished in a blur of motion. Fists crashed, legs cut through the air, tails whipped like steel chains, strangling and tearing at each other. The sound was endless: boom, crack, wham, a rhythm of destruction that no mortal eye could follow. Down below, even the strongest warriors could only watch in awe. Monstrous speed, unreal power. This isn't a fight, it's two gods colliding. Cooler's eyes flared. Two searing purple beams cut through the night. Gohan ducked, but not fast enough. The beams grazed his head, burning away chunks of his hair. He surged forward, crouched low, and drove a punch straight into Cooler's gut. The blow detonated through Cooler's back, the energy slicing a distant mountain clean in half. Cooler doubled over, snarling. He countered with a knee strike, but Gohan crossed his arms and blocked. The shockwave split the ground below. Both jumped back, floating tens of meters apart, gasping for breath. The god of war huff, energy rippled off them both in waves. But within seconds their breathing steadied, wounds closing, muscles tightening. Gohan blinked in disbelief. "He's not losing power at all," Cooler smirked. "Surprised? I could say the same about you." Both warriors stared each other down, equal parts admiration and hatred in their eyes. Then Cooler's voice dropped, low and sharp. "Enough warm up." His aura flared into a storm of purple-gold fire. Gohan mirrored him. The air screamed as they charged, two comets colliding once again. Their energy spheres met midair. Boom. The blast ripped open the fabric of space itself, scattering colors like shattered glass. Both fighters reeled from the shock, blood streaking their faces. Then Gohan raised his right hand. Golden energy condensed, refined, sharpened, until it formed a 2-meter blade of pure aura. "Spalito style," Gohan whispered. Air sword, the edge of power. He vanished. In the blink of an eye, the air sword sliced through Cooler's guard, leaving a bloody streak across his arm. Cooler's eyes widened. "It works," Gohan grinned, vanishing again. He struck in a flash, slash after slash, each blow carving golden light across Cooler's body. Cooler roared, tail sweeping toward him like a whip, but Gohan caught it and sliced. The blade flashed once. SHHHK. A massive section of Cooler's tail hit the ground, twitching. "Ah!" Cooler screamed, unleashing an explosion of energy that sent Gohan flying back. Panting, Cooler glared at the glowing sword in Gohan's hand. How can that cut through me? My form surpasses gods." Gohan said nothing. His eyes only burned brighter. Cooler gritted his teeth. "Fine, let's see how long you last against this." The prince's barrage energy gathered at Cooler's fingertips. Eyes blazed, firing twin destruction beams as he launched a barrage of golden energy blasts. A royal bombardment. Gohan's air sword dissipated. In its place, a silver aura shimmered over his body, liquid, flowing, alive. Spalito-style energy liquefaction. Every Kigon wave that hit him melted into his aura and vanished. Each strike fed his own energy instead of draining it. Cooler stared, enraged. You're absorbing it." But even this technique had limits. After dozens of impacts, the silver sheen flickered and shattered like glass. Gohan's patience snapped. He disappeared. Whoosh, reappearing behind Cooler, his air sword flashed back into being faster than light, aimed at the heart. Every instinct in Cooler's body screamed danger. He blasted energy in every direction, soaring straight up, barely dodging the strike that would have cut him in two. But Gohan was faster. He teleported again, appearing right above him, and slashed. Crash! The sword carved through Cooler's shoulder and took off another piece of his tail. Triple supernova. Cooler roared. 3 golden orbs ignited above him, merging into one massive sun of destruction. He hurled it down with both hands, screaming as it tore the air apart. The world shook as the colossal sphere of energy, hundreds of meters wide, descended, devouring the sky itself. "Such a massive energy ball, it'll destroy the Earth. Cooler's going to blow up the planet." Every fighter watching from below felt their hearts stop. High above, Golden Cooler's triple supernova blazed like a second sun, growing brighter with every passing second. Son Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and even Piccolo powered up to their limits, their combined auras ripping through the sky. King Kai and Jebet joined in too, their divine energy flaring to support the earth. And in the center of it all stood Son Gohan. The wind roared around him. His black hair whipped in the heat and his eyes locked onto the massive golden sphere overhead. The air itself began to burn, lakes evaporated, mountains cracked, yet Gohan didn't flinch. His hands drew back to his waist, glowing brighter and brighter until the light swallowed him whole. Tenfold Kamehameha. A colossal blue beam shot upward, striking the falling supernova head-on. The collision shattered the sky. The shockwave ripped through the atmosphere, flattening forests and cities in every direction. Boom, every fighter on Earth added their power: Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Piccolo, even Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha. Streams of energy of every color joined together, spiraling upward to support Gohan's beam. They were outmatched, but no one backed down, because behind them was home. Gohan glanced down. His friends, his father, everyone was giving everything they had. A rush of emotion surged through him, then something inside him broke free. His aura exploded, tenfold Kamehameha surging with unstoppable force. The beam pushed the massive supernova back inch by inch until Cooler's eyes widened. No, impossible. Sweat poured down his metallic face as the massive sphere began to rise against his will. I can't hold it. Desperation twisted his features. No, I won't die here, not to a Saiyan. With a furious roar, Cooler cut off his own energy supply and turned to flee into space. That was his last mistake. Without his control, the triple supernova was sent hurtling upward by Gohan's Kamehameha straight into Cooler himself. The sphere smashed into him head-on, dragging him deep into space. Damn it! Cooler struck the energy ball in panic. Boom. The explosion was cataclysmic. A blinding light filled the solar system, its shockwave echoing through half the northern galaxy. Aftermath on Earth, silence. Huff, huff, every fighter collapsed where they stood, drained completely. Their golden auras flickered out one by one. We did it. King Kai's voice trembled with relief. Krillin and Yamcha simply dropped to the ground, too tired to care. Vegeta wiped sweat from his brow. HMPH, finally over. But Trunks frowned, looking up. Wait, Gohan's still up there. Gohan hadn't moved. He hovered in the sky, staring into the stars, unreadable. Goku's expression suddenly changed. Wait, Cooler's kite, still there, faint but alive. Everyone froze. What? He survived that? That's insane. Before anyone could react, Gohan pressed 2 fingers to his forehead and vanished. Vegeta's jaw dropped. Did he just teleport into space? Is he insane? Goku only smiled faintly. No. Gohan's smarter than that. If he's going, he's already figured out how to survive out there. The final blow in deep space, far beyond Earth's orbit, what was left of Golden Cooler drifted aimlessly. Half his body was gone, one eye destroyed, his armor cracked and burnt. Still he lived, barely. Damn Saiyan, a sudden flash of light. Gohan appeared before him, arms crossed. Cooler blinked. Impossible. A Saiyan in space, Gohan's voice carried straight into his mind. You really are hard to kill. Cooler's one eye widened. You can't be here, but Gohan's calm expression never changed. He had long since surpassed the limits of mortal Saiyans. The wish he once made on Namek, granting him Majin-level regeneration and adaptability, let him exist freely in the vacuum of space. You could have lived, Gohan said quietly, if you hadn't tried to destroy my planet. He raised his hand, but don't worry. I'll tell King Yemma you're coming. Cooler's face twisted in terror. Wait, a single beam of blinding light burst from Gohan's palm. Cooler screamed, his body disintegrating into golden dust, and then nothing. Silence returned to the void. Gohan lowered his hand, eyes calm. The galaxy was safe again. Looking at Cooler, who was completely reduced to ashes, Son Gohan teleported back to Earth in an instant. At this time, he has not yet released the Super Saiyan 4 state. The state consumes very little energy and does not affect any actions. So Son Gohan wanted to feel this new form more and confirm whether it had any other effects on his body. Seeing Son Gohan coming back, everyone gathered around him. They looked at Son Gohan in Super Saiyan 4 with curiosity and surprise in their eyes. Gohan, is it done? Yamcha asked first. Well, he is probably on his way to report to the underworld now. Son Gohan nodded. Haha, Gohan is really humorous. Yamcha laughed and scratched the back of his head. Gohan, you've changed so much now that I can hardly recognize you. Krillin walked over and raised his hand to compare, and found that his egg-shaped head could hardly reach Son Gohan's chest. Hey Tilda, Son Gohan laughed and said, haha, this is just a transformation. Once you cancel the transformation, you will return to your original form. You're so awesome, Gohan. Son Goku praised his son generously and patted Son Gohan's strong shoulders. Vegeta didn't say anything, but he kept looking at Son Gohan. He knew that there would always be people who would ask questions that he wanted to know. For example, his good son Trunks started asking, Gohan-kun, what kind of transformation is this? It's so cool. He really wanted to pull the dark red hair on Son Gohan's body. This is a human form that has absorbed the power of a giant ape. Let's call it Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4, Gohan. Can I develop this transformation? Son Goku asked curiously. Son Gohan nodded and explained patiently. In theory, it is possible, but Dad, you don't have a tail and you need to stay rational after turning into a giant ape, so it may be a little difficult for you at the moment. Do I need a tail to transform? Sun Wukong was a little puzzled. This is also my first transformation, so I'm not very clear about the details, but I think that if I were to perform this transformation for the first time, the prerequisite would be to transform into a golden giant ape. Vegeta on the side interrupted and said, if a Saiyan without a tail wants to transform into a giant ape, perhaps he can do it by enhancing the Bruce Light wave. Then how do we enhance this? Bobo Ray, you mentioned. Sun Wukong asked puzzledly. Vegeta glared at Son Goku angrily. I don't know, Sun Wukong. First of all, I didn't provoke you, Vegeta. Trunks next to him was envious. I want to try this transformation in the future. It's so cool. Son Gohan smiled and said, well, once you have trained your basic combat power to become stronger and reach the level of Super Saiyan 3, you should be able to complete this transformation. Trunks' eyes were full of longing, looking forward to it. King Kai patted his chest and breathed a sigh of relief. I was scared to death just now. Luckily, Gohan defeated Cooler, otherwise I think he would have killed me. Frieza is such a powerful brother, his strength is unfathomable. That's it, ha ha ha. Everyone burst into laughter, and the air around them was filled with joy. This is like letting go of the huge stone in your heart and also the joy of surviving a disaster. Then Son Gohan is going to the underworld. Everyone dispersed to collect the Dragon Balls to repair the damage caused by this battle. At the same time, the distant Supreme Plane, God Realm, Destroyer, God Planet. Destroyer is an inverted triangle planet. There grows a huge dead tree on it, covering most of the planet. This strange tree has no leaves all year round, and it is said that it will wither and grow again for tens of thousands of years. No one knows whether there will be any results. There is no distinction between day and night here. The sky is colorful, and it is always daytime. The master living on this planet is naturally Beerus, the god of destruction of the seventh universe. Boring life goes on day after day, year after year. There are no traces of time on God's body. Time is the most abundant thing they have. The bored god of destruction, Beerus, wants to sleep whenever he has free time. Sometimes he sleeps for tens of thousands of years. Delicious food and sweet dreams are his eternal pursuit. Right now, Beerus rolled on the bed and fell to the ground with a thud. He opened his sleepy eyes and yawned continuously. Beerus rubbed his sleepy eyes, stretched, tightened his robe, walked out of the bedroom, and came to the living room in a listless manner. He keeps a prophetic fish in his living room. This prophetic fish can predict some things that will happen in the future. It is very magical. Beerus casually flicked the prophecy fish's head. The prophecy fish covered its head in grievance, whimpering, unable to speak out. Beerus yawned, walked to the window board, reached out to open the window, and looked at the scenery outside. Weiss Wes, he shouted twice at the top of his voice. A tall figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere. It was Wise, the angel of Universe 7. Weiss held an exquisite scepter in his hand. There was a vertical halo on the top of the scepter, and a black magic ball the size of a dragon ball was embedded in the center of the halo. He was extremely tall, handsome, with light blue skin, a large light blue angel halo around his neck, and long silver-white hair that rose into the sky in defiance of gravity. It can be seen that his gender is probably male, the rest is unknown. Weiss has a bright, humble, and gentle smile. When he smiles, it's like sunshine blooming in the cold winter, making those who face him feel like they are in the spring breeze. Wise smiled respectfully at Beerus and said, Master Beerus, what's wrong? Beerus acted a little irritable, with a look of unhappiness on his face. Damn it, I just had a nightmare and it woke me up. Oh. Lord Beerus, what did you dream about? Well, this. Beerus raised his hand and touched his chin, trying to recall. I seem to have dreamed that someone wanted to kill me and my life was seriously threatened. Wise covered his mouth and chuckled. Haha, how could anyone kill Lord Beerus? Dreams are just dreams after all. But I heard that dreams are also a kind of prophecy, right? Prophecy fish? Beerus turned his head to look at the prophecy fish swimming in the fish tank. Ah, is it something about me? The prophecy fish popped its head out and nodded. You see, Wise, the prophecy fish also thinks so. So Wise, how long have I slept? Beerus yawned again. Wise smiled and said, Lord Beerus has slept for less than 50 years. Oh, that's bad. My sleep quality has really deteriorated. Beerus supported his chin with both hands, looking very troubled. Hee. Wise covered his lips lightly. Then is planet Vegeta destroyed? Beerus asked. Yeah, it was destroyed by Frieza. This Frieza was quite efficient at what he did, so how is he now? Wise said Frieza was killed by a Super Saiyan named Son Goku. Ah, Beerus' eyes widened with a look of disbelief. There is actually a Saiyan who can kill Frieza. You are kidding me, Wise. Wise shook his head. Of course not, Lord Beerus. That's because this Son Goku turned into the legendary Super Saiyan and defeated Frieza. The legendary Super Saiyan, is it very powerful? Beerus asked. How should I put it? Not a question of whether he is powerful or not. Anyway, he killed Frieza, but there are only a few surviving Saiyans left now. Beerus poked his head with a headache. I originally planned to let Frieza destroy planet Vegeta and then I would kill Frieza, but I didn't expect this Saiyan to help me. Tusk, he helped me, and logically I should be grateful to him, but why do I feel more and more uncomfortable the more I think about it? Wise. Where do the surviving Saiyans live now? Beerus asked. Well, let me look for it, Weiss said, raising the scepter in his hand and slamming it into the ground. The black magic crystal ball on the top of the scepter began to glow. Then a brilliant starry sky appeared on the magic crystal ball and the planets quickly retreated, finally locking onto a blue planet. Weiss looked at it. Lord Beerus, the surviving Saiyans now live on a planet called Earth in the northern galaxy. Earth. Wasn't this planet almost wiped out by stupid creatures like dinosaurs? Beerus asked puzzledly. Hee, that was a long time ago, Lord Beerus. One time you slept for a very long time, Wise explained with a smile. Is that so? Now that you mention it, I feel like the killing in my dream has something to do with this Earth. Oh, what a headache. Beerus slapped his head and knocked it against the windowsill, causing it to explode. Weiss, the prophecy fish trembled. Beerus walked over again and flicked the top of the prophecy fish's head. Prophecy fish, tell me, is there really anyone who can kill me? Or do you think there is anyone in this world who can be my opponent? The prophetic fish had tears in its eyes and covered its head with its hands and said, no one in this world can kill you, but if you want to stretch your muscles, maybe someone can be your opponent. Okay, Beerus' eyes gleamed with brilliance. Oh, who? Tell me quickly, the prophetic fish said. The legendary Super Saiyan God may be your opponent. Super Saiyan God, what is that? Beerus was puzzled. They're Saiyans anyway. Haha, Wise, it's so boring. Let's go to Earth. How far is Earth from us? Beerus laughed and his pajamas loosened and fell to the ground. Weiss turned his head away and covered his eyes. Beerus didn't feel embarrassed and found the clothes of the god of destruction and put them on one by one. All I heard was Weiss saying, it's not too far, it'll be enough time to watch an episode of cartoons. Then let's set off quickly. Beerus urged after putting on his clothes. Yes, Lord Beerus, Wise responded with a smile before slamming the base of his scepter against the ground. Wise and Beerus turned into a beam of white light and soared into the sky, flying towards the Earth. Earth, everyone gathered in the Temple of Heaven and summoned the dragon. 100-meter-long green dragon hovered above the Temple of Heaven and the sky was dark. They haven't started making wishes yet. At this moment, a ray of light fell from the sky. The ray of light just hit the square and two more people suddenly appeared in the square of the Temple of Heaven. It was Wise and Beerus who arrived. At this moment, Son Gohan went to the underworld and has not returned yet. Standing on the Temple of Heaven were all the Z warriors, as well as King Kai and Jeppet, as well as Dend and Popo. Seeing two strange strangers suddenly coming, everyone turned their heads to look over curiously. It would have been fine if he hadn't looked at it, but when he did, Vegeta's legs started shaking with fear. The dragon in the sky had sweat rolling down his forehead and his face turned green with fear. Unfortunately, King Kai, Asin, and Jeppetu didn't know Beerus at all. The blue dragon lowered its head, trying to make itself look smaller. I am so disrespectful, Lord Beerus. I didn't expect you to visit Earth. I shouldn't be talking to you from such a high place. As expected, it was that guy Beerus. Vegeta's forehead was covered with sweat and he looked unwell. Trunks noticed his abnormality and patted his back, which actually startled Vegeta. Dad, what's wrong with you? Vegeta said nothing. The others were quite curious about Beerus and Weiss because I couldn't sense any aura from them. After hearing Shenlong's words, Beerus looked up at it without saying a word, showing the cool and aloof demeanor of the god of destruction. He tilted his head again and saw King of the Kai Asin. Looking at the clever look of God Kai, Beerus frowned deeply. So uncomfortable. The nightmare he just had, could it be related to the guy in front of him? Why is a Kai king running around everywhere? Why does he come to Earth to mess around with these Saiyans? Don't you die. When the old Kai, who was far away in the Kaishin realm, saw this scene, he was so frightened that he jumped up and down in anxiety. Ignorant younger generation. What ignorant descendants. He didn't even recognize Beerus. This is outrageous. Old Kai was anxious and angry at this time, and at the same time. On the North Kai planet, beads of sweat also rolled down the forehead of King Kai. The appearance of the god of destruction Beerus reminded him of some not-so-good memories. Hi, I'm Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong walked over and greeted him. The dragon's voice was very loud, and everyone heard what it said just now, including Sun Wukong. But he only knew Beerus' name and didn't know his identity. Seeing Sun Wukong being so reckless, Vegeta's pupils shrank and he shouted frantically in his heart, is Kakarot going to die? He knows the god of destruction Beerus. When he was very young, Vegeta had met Beerus once and knew what a terrifying guy Beerus was. Beerus looked at Son Goku with interest. Are you the Super Saiyan Son Goku who killed Frieza? Yes, I killed him. What's wrong? Are you here to avenge Frieza as well? Ha ha ha, revenge for Frieza. What are you talking about? Beerus laughed, then his face suddenly turned cold. Boy, do you know Super Saiyan God? Super Saiyan God? I don't know. Sun Wukong shook his head honestly. He really didn't know. Oh, then let me see what the guy who killed Frieza is capable of. Beerus sneered. Haha, okay, you want to compete with me, right? You can understand it this way, come on. Beerus said with his hands behind his back, just staring at Son Goku. Aha! Sun Wukong shouted loudly and instantly turned into a Super Saiyan with golden aura gushing out of his body. Oh, is this a Super Saiyan? No wonder he was able to kill Frieza. Sun Wukong took a step forward, quickly approached Beerus and punched Beerus like rain, but Beerus only shook slightly and all of Goku's punches missed. Sun Wukong knew that this state was useless, so he turned into Super Saiyan 2 again, but the result was still the same. He couldn't even touch the corner of Beerus' clothes. Damn it, why didn't you fight back? Sun Wukong shouted, then did a backflip and turned into Super Saiyan 3. Her hair was waist-length, her eyebrows had disappeared, her brow bones were prominent, her whole body was filled with surging aura and lightning. "Oh, do you want me to fight back?" Beerus sneered with narrowed eyes. "Yes, let me see your strength," Sun Wukong said loudly. "Okay then," Beerus nodded. "Hiya!" Sun Wukong shouted, pushing the momentum of the Super Saiyan to its peak, and then rushed towards Beerus at the speed of light. Close, getting closer. Sun Wukong suddenly saw Beerus' mouth corners slightly tilted up, grinning, then he stretched out a finger and flicked his head. Boom! Sun Wukong's body flew out and fell to the ground with a thud. His hair quickly turned back to black and he fell into a coma. What? Everyone was shocked and their eyes almost fell to the ground. Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku was killed instantly by a head explosion. Can you believe it if I tell you? Am I dreaming? While in the underworld, Son Gohan had a long conversation with King Yama and happily sent Fura to heaven, but suddenly he felt something was wrong. Did Dad's aura just now reach the underworld, and then it disappeared in an instant? What's happening here, on the Temple of Heaven? Everyone was shocked to see Sun Wukong being killed in an instant. Who on earth is this person, and how could he be able to do such a thing? Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. That's Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. Because Sun Wukong was unconscious nearby, King Kai and Krillin ran over almost at the same time, followed closely by Jepital. Wukong, how are you? Krillin shook Sun Wukong. And King God used a recovery technique on Sun Wukong. While releasing the recovery technique, he stared at Beerus and said, "No matter who you are, when Son Gohan comes back, he will never forgive you." Beerus, he looked at King Kai Asin with a look of disappointment and almost cursed. "So angry, you are Kai after all, what's going on now? Also, who's Son Gohan? So awesome? Is there such an awesome person in the 7th universe? How dare you say you can't forgive me? It's really an eye-opener." Beerus turned his head to look at Wise. As soon as he tilted his head, Wise knew what Beerus was thinking. Wise smiled and responded, "Lord Beerus, Son Gohan must be Son Goku's son." "Oh, really?" Beerus narrowed his eyes, and the aura of a big villain hit him in the face, and the air around him became extremely depressing. Yamcha, Tine Shinhin, Piccolo, Jai Ozi, and others had already run over and surrounded Sun Wukong. Check Sun Wukong's physical condition. Under the recovery technique of King Kai, Sun Wukong slowly woke up. Vegeta and Trunks were still standing in the same place. Dandy and Bobo stood under the tree, not knowing what to do. At this time, Vegeta's fists were clenched white. Trunks next to him placed one hand on the brave sword behind his back, looking at Beerus and Wise warily. Beerus looked at Vegeta and Trunks with interest and finally locked onto Vegeta, saying with a half smile, "Vegeta Roman 4, don't you remember me?" Vegeta's body suddenly froze. Remember, Lord Beerus. Dad knows these two strangers." Trunks next to him had doubts in his eyes. The same thing happened to the others, who were confused and surprised when they heard Beerus and Vegeta talking. They could see how miserable Vegeta was at this moment. Vegeta is such an arrogant and conceited person, but now it looks like this. This can only mean that Vegeta knew the two strangers who suddenly appeared, and the identities of these two people are extraordinary and terrifying. Vegeta, who was so terrified that he was not afraid of anything, not even death, was frightened. Beerus asked, "Vegeta, let me ask you, do you know Super Saiyan God?" Vegeta's clenched fists never loosened as he responded, "I don't know." Vegeta's personality is like this. He is rather cold, and he also knows that the more you talk, the more mistakes you make. So he just answered the questions and refused to say a word more. "Even you don't know, what about Son Gohan? Does he know?" Beerus continued to ask. Beerus was somewhat curious about this guy who was praised by King Kai. Vegeta was a little conflicted, and he decided to say a few more words so as not to seem perfunctory and make Beerus unhappy. "Son Gohan should be back soon. We need to ask him to find out." "Oh, so this Son Gohan is indeed Son Goku's son, right?" Beerus continued to ask. "Correct. So he's a Saiyan too?" Yes." The other side, Sun Wukong sat up, covering his head. "Goku, how are you now?" asked King Kai. "It's okay, I just have a headache. What a powerful guy." Sun Wukong grinned and stood up. At this time, whoosh, Son Gohan appeared out of nowhere next to Trunks. He teleported back. When Son Gohan saw the appearance of Beerus and Wise clearly, he breathed a sigh of relief. He just thought that Wukong was killed by someone, but he never expected that these two great gods would come. Beerus and Wise were the first to notice Son Gohan's arrival. They both turned their heads and looked at him curiously. At this time, Son Gohan has returned to normal and is no longer in the form of Super Saiyan 4. Looking at Son Gohan, Beerus asked directly, "Are you the Son Gohan they are talking about?" Son Gohan smiled widely. "Yes, I am Son Gohan." After he finished speaking, he quickly leaned over to Trunks' ear and whispered something. After Son Gohan finished speaking, Trunks left in a hurry. Seeing Trunks leave, Vegeta looked at Son Gohan and seemed to be hesitant to speak. He was a little worried that Son Gohan would contradict Beerus and cause the entire Earth to be reduced to ashes, but if he were to remind Son Gohan directly, he would find it difficult to speak. This would make others think that he cares about Son Gohan, just when he was struggling. Beerus asked again, "Boy, do you know Super Saiyan God?" "I know." Son Gohan nodded. He said that and felt someone poking him in the waist. Son Gohan turned around and saw that it was Vegeta. Vegeta lowered his voice and said, "You better not lie, brat. This is the god of destruction, Beerus-sama. He is very scary, be careful." "Oh, I understand." Son Gohan felt strange because of Vegeta's sudden concern. Beerus' spirits were visibly lifted when he heard Son Gohan say that he knew about Super Saiyan God. He put his hands on his hips and shouted, "Where is he now? Tell him to come out and fight me." At the same time, the voices of King Kai of the North and King Kai of the Old God rang in Son Gohan's ears at the same time. They both told him about the identity of Beerus, the god of destruction, remind him to be careful. Listening to the instructions of the two gods, Son Gohan said, "Lord Beerus, this Super Saiyan god, to be precise, does not refer to a certain person, but a certain form of Saiyan. A Super Saiyan who has mastered the aura of God can be called a Super Saiyan god." The dragon in the sky spoke at the right time, but its voice was not very confident. "Do you still want to make a wish for the one who summoned me?" Son Gohan looked up and glared at it. The dragon immediately shut its mouth obediently and continued to act as a background board. Beerus looked Son Gohan up and down and said impatiently, "Oh, so you have mastered the aura of God and learned this so-called Super Saiyan God form?" Son Gohan shook his head honestly, "Not really." Then he said, "But I know how to change into this form and I can materialize it quickly." Beerus waved his hand and snorted, "Well, you'd better hurry up. I just got up and my temper is not very good. If you make me impatient, I will destroy the earth." "You can't do that, Lord Beerus." Son Gohan shook his head. Just then Trunks teleported back. "Why not?" Beerus sneered and raised his right hand. There was already a surge of purple-black energy gathering at his fingertips, as if it was ready to destroy the earth at any time. "Hey, Lord Beerus may not know that our earth has a title called the home of delicious food, the best in the universe. The food made by earthlings is truly amazing, with great color, aroma, and flavor. It's bright in color and smells delicious. I salivate at the sight of it, but my nose cramps just from smelling it." Beerus swallowed after hearing his words. The energy at his fingertips dissipated unconsciously, and his eyes widened into the size of copper bells. "Gulu Tilda, are you telling the truth?" "Of course, Trunks, go," Son Gohan shouted. As soon as he finished speaking, Trunks released 2 large tables with a whoosh. Soon, the table was filled with all kinds of delicious food. Looking at the table full of food, Beerus' nose really started to cramp. Not only Beerus, but also the elegant Wise kept twitching his nose with his eyes shining. Son Gohan saw their performance and laughed in his heart. Foodies are so easy to control. He just asked Trunks to prepare delicious food, and this move was a sure kill. Believe Beerus and Wise after tasting the food on Earth. Even if you kneel down and beg him to destroy the Earth, Beerus will just shake his head. Those who are enemies of food will not be forgiven. "This looks really good, don't you think, Wise?" Beerus swallowed. "Haha, indeed. I wonder how it tastes." Wise also laughed. "Lord Beerus, Senior Wise, you will know once you sit down and taste it." Son Gohan pulled out a stool and motioned for the two to sit down. As expected, Beerus and Wise sat down and wrapped themselves with tablecloths. Subsequently, "Wow, this is delicious. This is also delicious." The sound of cutlery clinking continued. Beerus ate voraciously, while Wise ate much more gently, but the surprise and praise in his eyes were no less than Beerus's. Vegeta's 24K titanium dog eyes were blinded by Son Gohan's series of magical operations. Can the god of destruction Beerus be dealt with like this? Isn't this what they call first courtesy, then force? Vegeta said he learned something. Lord Beerus, Senior Wise, you guys eat first. If you're not full, I'll go get you some more. Now I'm going to discuss the matter of the Super Saiyan God with my friends." Beerus shook his hands without even looking up. In fact, he is already very happy now. It doesn't matter even if Son Gohan really can't create the Super Saiyan God. These 2 tables of food have solved 90% of his troubles. "Let's go over there." Son Gohan waved to Trunks and Vegeta and walked towards the direction of Son Goku and others. When he got closer, Son Gohan saw that King Kai looked frustrated. Just now, the ancestor told God Kai Beerus' identity, which made the current God Kai feel a little confused. Son Gohan guessed something and tried not to laugh. He gathered everyone together and explained to them the identity of the god of destruction, Beerus. After hearing that Beerus was such a terrifying existence, the few people who were slow to realize it all turned pale. When I think back to how Super Saiyan 3 Goku was killed instantly with just a finger, I know that what Gohan said was not an exaggeration. The power of this god of destruction, Beerus, will be even more terrifying than they imagined. After introducing Beerus, Vegeta couldn't help but ask, "Son Gohan, what did you just tell him about knowing the Super Saiyan God? What is the Super Saiyan God?" "Well, I was just about to tell you about the Super Saiyan God. This so-called Super Saiyan God requires 6 Saiyans with a heart of justice to accomplish together." "What do you mean?" Sun Wukong didn't understand. Son Gohan continued, "If the 6 Saiyans with a heart of justice focus the light of their hearts of justice on one of them, then that person will become the legendary Super Saiyan God." That sounds a bit weird, like a ritual." Trunks frowned. Son Gohan nodded. "Well, it can also be understood as a ritual." Piccolo said, "You want 6 Saiyans with a heart of justice. Is that enough now?" Let me count. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Goat, and Takaru and Fang. Can children do that? Vegeta next to him clenched his fists and his teeth were about to break. Trunks spoke up for him. I think my father now also has a heart of justice. Really? Piccolo looked at the ferocious Vegeta with suspicion. Piccolo, I will kill you once Beerus leaves, Vegeta said viciously. Everyone, after hearing Vegeta's threat, Krillin, Yamcha, and others felt that Piccolo's words made sense. Vegeta is still very fierce. His sense of justice remains to be examined. Would I be afraid of you? Piccolo refused to give in. Seeing the two men fighting each other, Son Gohan quickly reached out to stop them. All right, it's already this late and you're still arguing. I'm going to go get Wooten, Xiao, and Xiaofeng now. Don't mess around. Okay. After Son Gohan gave his orders, he instantly moved away from the Temple of the Gods. A few minutes later, Kai came holding Goat and Gohan held Fang and Videl held Wu. Son Wushan has learned to walk and speak on his own, but Xiao Wu and Xiao Fang, who are less than 1 year old, cannot do that yet and need to be held in the arms. Kai put Wooten down, and Wooten jumped to Sun Wukong's feet, grabbed Sun Wukong's trouser leg and climbed up. Papa down, right arrow, pop up, arrow, haha, Goat and Daddy will pick you up. Sun Wukong smiled, bent down and lifted Sun Wooten up. Sun Goat, who was lifted into the air, laughed out loud. Seeing this, Xiaofeng also tugged at her father's clothes. Xiaofeng, do you want it too? Son Gohan asked with a smile as he looked at Xiaofeng in his arms. Xiaofeng can't speak yet, but her smile is very cute, just like a porcelain doll. Okay. Son Gohan lifted Xiaofeng up as well, and by Dilly's arms, Xiao Wu looked at the uncle who was only 1 year older than him. He felt a little envious, but also felt that he was a little childish, so he turned his head away. Xiao Wu, do you want Mom to lift you up too? If you don't say anything, that means you agree. Then Mom will lift you up. Baidili thought Xiao Wu was envious of his uncle and sister, so she also lifted Xiao Wu up. The lifted Sun Wu struggled madly. After playing around, they started discussing again. The topic is about who will become the Super Saiyan God. Everyone said, let Son Gohan come. After all, Son Gohan is the strongest now, and after becoming the Super Saiyan God, his strength should also be the strongest. So his chances of defeating Beerus will be higher. Son Gohan shook his head after hearing this. His current strength far exceeds that of Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta. So for this wave of reinforcement, he decided to let Sun Wukong come first. After all, to put it bluntly, this Super Saiyan God can be mass-produced. There will be no problem for Son Gohan to master this divine realm later on. What is the most critical point? It was Son Gohan who knew that Beerus would never destroy the Earth now. In this case, Beerus is an excellent teacher. It can help Sun Wukong master the realm of Super Saiyan God faster, so why not do it? And there is another very important point. Son Gohan wanted to test Beerus' strength through a battle between Beerus and Son Goku first. So based on the above reasons, Son Gohan decided to let Son Goku be the first Super Saiyan God. Discussion ended. Son Gohan handed Xiao Fang to Piccolo and walked towards Beerus and Wise. In a short period of time, these two great gods had eaten most of the food on the table like Saiyans. But in fact, more of it went into Beerus' stomach, and Wise only ate a small part of it. Son Gohan asked with a smile, Master Beerus, Senior Wise, how is it? Is it okay? Hiccup tilde Beerus burped. Very so-so, very so-so. You mean it's delicious, right? Son Gohan looked at him suspiciously. How's your discussion going? When will the Super Saiyan God come out? Beerus said while wiping his mouth with a napkin. We are just waiting for the two seniors to finish eating. After that, we can transform. Wise smiled gently. Haha, Mr. Gohan, I'm looking forward to it. The 7 people stood in 2 rows behind Sun Wukong. Son Gohan and Vegeta placed their right hands on his back. Vegeta held Trunks' hand with his left hand. Trunks held Goten's hand with his other hand. And Son Goten was held in Kai's arms. On the other side, Videl was standing behind Son Gohan holding Xiao Wu. Son Gohan placed one hand on Son Goku's back and held Wu's hand with the other. It's a sense of justice, not anger, Son Gohan reminded. But what exactly is the heart of justice and how to transmit it to Sun Wukong is another question. After all, things like a sense of justice are inherently illusory and cannot be controlled at will like Kai. It is difficult to define its existence. After they struggled for a few minutes, a dazzling light burst out from Sun Wushan's body. The light enveloped his entire body like a big golden bubble. Then the light spread to Trunks and then to Vegeta and finally enveloped Son Goku. The same thing was happening to Son Gohan and Xiao Wu, forming a chain reaction. The golden bubble completely connected the several people, bursting out with dazzling light. The sky was originally covered with dark clouds, and all the black clouds turned into golden color. This kind of golden cloud usually appears near the divine realm and the serpent path. This is the first time such auspicious clouds have appeared on Earth. Then with the Temple of Heaven as the center, the golden clouds in the sky began to move, forming a huge golden vortex. The center of the vortex, sunshine, spring, rain, hail, snowflakes, the 4 seasons change rapidly. After the snow, Sun Wukong's body suddenly became transparent and then flew into the air. Oh, the breath of God. Beerus showed a meaningful expression. Is it finally here? Super Saiyan God. Everyone looked at Sun Wukong in astonishment as the sky became transparent. At this time, Sun Wukong's whole body became transparent, as if he had turned into a ball of light and gradually turned into a light red. Soon he descended from the air and stood on the square of the Temple of Heaven. There was silence, no one spoke, everyone was staring at him. The dragon, who was acting as the background, felt a little embarrassed. After all, the originally pitch-black sky has now turned into a golden color. It was exposed to the golden sunlight, which made it feel very insecure. The last time I invested in the source of life, now this Shenlong declares that the investment has failed. Investment not equal to majesty. The light on Sun Wukong gradually dissipated. Everyone finally saw what he looked like now. Sun Wukong's body now has become much thinner and slenderer than before, and his black crab head has turned into a fiery red color. Even the eyebrows and pupils were blood red. I can no longer feel the original surging aura from him. It's a very amazing feeling. He's clearly standing in front of you, yet seems to be very far away. You can't feel his presence at all, nor can you sense his life energy. Is this the realm of Super Saiyan God, or is this the breath of God? However, Son Gohan can still sense the life fluctuations from God Kai, but I couldn't sense it from Sun Wukong. It seems a bit impolite to say this to Lord Kaishin. Goku doesn't seem as strong as before. Krillin expressed his doubts. Son Gohan said, maybe this is more suitable for fighting. Dad, how do you feel now? Son Gohan asked. Sun Wukong looked at his body and jumped twice. I feel very light. Wise smiled and said to Beerus, Lord Beerus, it looks like it worked. Beerus grinned. Hey, I'm a little excited. He said this and walked out. Son Goku, come on, let me see the power of the Super Saiyan God. I hope you won't let me down. Okay, Lord Beerus. Son Goku is full of confidence in himself now. Under everyone's gaze, Beerus and Son Goku flew high into the sky and stood more than 10 meters apart. The two of them stared at each other without blinking. After a few seconds, Sun Wukong decided to take the initiative and attack first. Pang! Sun Wukong clenched his fists and golden red flames burned around his body. Then with a burst of energy under his feet, he rushed towards Beerus and hit Beerus in the face with his right fist with incredible force. But Beerus just stretched out an index finger to block Son Goku's terrible fist. Boom! The moment the fist and fingers touched, a terrifying gas explosion occurred. The surroundings were instantly filled with smoke. The violent gusts of wind swept out, shattering the golden clouds in the sky. How is it? What do you feel after becoming a Super Saiyan God? Beerus asked casually after taking on Son Goku's move. Sun Wukong said, I'm very surprised. Really, what are you surprised about? Beerus asked. I'm surprised that my strength can reach this level, and I'm also surprised that Lord Beerus can block my attack with just one finger. Ha ha ha, is that so? Beerus laughed. Come on, Lord Beerus, let me see the power of the God of destruction. HMPH, okay. Beerus grinned and instantly kicked out at Son Goku with his right foot. Sun Wukong raised his hand to block it and began to fight back. Son Goku punched Beerus in the chest, and Beerus punched Son Goku's head crooked. The four legs also kept colliding. The first wave of fighting was a fist-to-flesh fight. Two rays of light flashed in the sky, constantly intersecting and colliding. The golden red energy and purple energy continued to collide with each other, causing storms. Strong winds were blowing towards the Temple of the Gods, and everyone had to put their hands on their foreheads to protect their faces from the strong winds. Trunks sighed. It looks like Uncle Goku is on par with Master Beerus. Whis beside him smiled but said nothing. Vegeta snorted coldly. Idiots, now they are just doing warm-up exercises and they haven't shown their true strength at all. Piccolo said, that's true, but Goku is much stronger now than before. Just now Goku was killed in 1 second by Beerus-sama with just one finger, but now he is fighting back and forth. Heaven, Beerus and Son Goku had a new clash. Boom. After the collision, the two were again pushed dozens of meters apart. Sun Wukong said with some regret, what a pity this power is not obtained by me through hard training, but is temporarily obtained with the help of everyone. It would be great if I could be like Gohan. Oh, is Son Gohan really that strong? Then why do you want to become a Super Saiyan God? Beerus asked. Son Goku exploded with anger again, and golden red energy surged from his body. Because I want to have a real fight with Lord Beerus instead of being defeated by Lord Beerus with just one finger. Ha ha ha, you have great ambition. Beerus laughed, then his face suddenly turned cold and his body disappeared in an instant. The next moment he appeared, he had already kicked Sun Wukong in the lower abdomen. Sun Wukong spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backwards. Then Beerus raised his hand and 2 purple energy balls flew out and chased Son Goku. Sun Wukong, who was kicked and flew flying, quickly stabilized his body and then kept dodging the 2 purple energy balls that were chasing him, who knew that Beerus suddenly appeared above him and punched him. After being hit hard, Sun Wukong fell rapidly to the ground. Sun Wukong's body fell from the sky like a meteorite and crashed into the sea. The seawater exploded and shot up hundreds of meters into the sky. Beerus arrived soon after, and the two fought in the water for hundreds of rounds. Son Gohan and other Z-warriors naturally don't want to miss such an exciting battle. They all flew to the sea and continued to watch the battle. The two men dueled in the sea, and a strong tsunami formed in the sea, and a typhoon exceeding level 17 quickly formed. Sometimes there was heavy rain in the sky, sometimes the sun was shining, and sometimes there were thunder and lightning. Such strange weather made everyone on Earth tremble. Earthlings living in this world must be prepared to do sit-ups in their coffins at any time. Boom! Another huge wave several hundred meters high rose into the sky. Son Wukong and Beerus broke out of the water and once again moved the battlefield to the sky. Ha-da-da-da! Son Goku attacked frantically with very dense punches, but they were all blocked by Beerus. Humph! Beerus grinned and kicked Son Goku away again with a knee strike. Then he put his hands together, instantly appeared in front of Son Wukong, and slammed a volleyball, knocking Son Wukong away again. This cycle repeated itself, and Son Wukong was kicked around in the air by Beerus like a volleyball. It was a horrible sight. The few people watching the game couldn't bear to continue watching. It can be seen that although Son Wukong's strength has undergone earth-shaking changes after becoming a Super Saiyan God, he is still far behind Beerus. After being beaten so badly, Son Wukong became angry and suddenly exploded with golden and red energy waves on his body. He broke free from Beerus' attack and began to launch his counterattack. But in Beerus' eyes, Son Wukong's attack was like child's play and was not worth mentioning at all. Although Beerus occasionally pretends to be hit by a few punches from Son Goku, careful observation will reveal that he is actually just playing. Gradually, the divine aura on Son Wukong became weaker and weaker, until it finally dissipated completely and his hair turned back to black. But he himself hasn't realized it yet and has been fighting with Beerus. As the time goes, Beerus's eyes became more and more surprised. Although Son Wukong is no longer in the form of a Super Saiyan God, he is fighting more and more bravely, and it seems like he is about to make a breakthrough on the battlefield. Beerus sneered, knocked Son Goku away with one punch, and then rushed into the sky. Then a huge golden red energy ball smashed into the sea. Ah, it's over. Goku definitely can't take this move. Gohan, what should we do? Piccolo asked Son Gohan anxiously. Now it's up to Son Gohan to block this energy ball, otherwise the Earth will be finished. Because they all knew that among all the people present, the only one who could possibly catch this huge energy ball was Son Gohan. Even Vegeta and Trunks looked at Son Gohan anxiously, waiting for him to take action to turn the tide. Don't worry, look, Dad's energy is starting to rise, said Son Gohan. Sure enough, with a series of roars, Son Wukong transformed into a Super Saiyan again and rushed towards the energy ball that was continuously falling towards the sea. Although Son Wukong was only in the form of Super Saiyan 1 at this moment, the strength of his energy was far greater than when he was usually a Super Saiyan 2, and it was even higher, but he did not realize it at the moment. Son Goku held the energy ball with both hands and roared, "Lord Beerus, I won't let you destroy the Earth." Ah, a violent roar echoed across the sea. Son Wukong actually transformed into the form of Super Saiyan God again, with red hair, red eyes, red eyebrows, and golden red airwaves rising into the sky. Beerus' eyes lit up. It was exactly as he calculated. Boom, the violent energy ball was blasted by Son Wukong. The sky soon returned to calm. Son Wukong's hair turned back to black, his clothes were torn, and he stared breathlessly at Beerus, who was standing high in the sky calmly. Beerus landed and stood opposite Son Goku. He looked at Son Wukong with interest and said, "You haven't realized it yet, have you? Now you can transform yourself into a Super Saiyan God." Ah, what? Son Wukong was stunned. After being reminded by Beerus, Son Wukong also discovered the abnormality of his body. At this moment, he could actually sense that there was an extra breath in his body, the breath of God. After the transformation, a small amount of divine aura remained in his body. In other words, as long as he practices diligently, he can master the transformation into Super Saiyan God and no longer rely on the power of his companions' minds. In Son Wukong's surprised eyes, Beerus continued, "Very good, I haven't exercised for a long time, but I enjoyed the fight today very much. You can actually force out 70% of my strength." Ah, Lord Beerus hasn't used his full strength yet, Son Wukong said in shock. Son Gohan, who was watching the battle from a distance, twitched his lips. Beerus-sama's strength was probably calculated at 100%. It's so obvious. Beerus grinned and said, "Of course, do you think that I, a god of destruction, only have this much strength?" "Ha ha ha, that's right. Thank you, Lord Beerus, for your advice." Son Wukong raised his hand and scratched the hair on the back of his head and laughed. Beerus turned to look at Son Gohan in the distance and said loudly, "Son Gohan, it's your turn now." Beerus has always been resentful of the flattery from King Kai and Son Goku. He wanted to see what kind of strength this Son Gohan had. Since Beerus wants to fight him, Son Gohan naturally wants it. Where can I find such a good teacher? Didn't you see? Dad has already mastered the aura of God. Even teacher Kaido is not that good at teaching. Son Gohan flew next to Son Goku and in front of Beerus. Beerus glanced at him and said, "Go and transform into a Super Saiyan God. I'll be waiting for you here." Son Gohan's face was filled with a smile. "No need for now. How about Master Beerus try my transformation first?" "Beerus, which transformation are you talking about?" When several black question marks appeared above Beerus' head, Son Gohan clenched his fists. The aura on his body began to boil violently. Ah, tilde, a roar sounded. The shadow of a giant golden ape appeared behind Son Gohan. With him as the center, rolling golden airwaves spread out in all directions. On the sea surface beneath everyone's feet, circles of waves were spreading out. The clouds in the sky rolled in again. Click, there was thunder in the sky. The golden giant ape behind Son Gohan quickly shrank and then rushed into his body. Immediately afterwards, Son Gohan's body underwent a drastic change and turned into a Super Saiyan 4 again. Thick, black, messy, shoulder-length hair. He has a tall and strong body with bulging and firm muscles. The dark red fur covering its exposed skin shows its wild power. Looking at Son Gohan, who had completed his transformation, Beerus narrowed his eyes. For some reason, he felt that this transformation seemed familiar. "What is this? Is it the return of Saiyan bloodline?" Beerus said coldly. "Okay, Son Gohan, let me see the power of your transformation." Sun Wukong retreated and turned from a combatant into a spectator. Son Gohan's golden aura was overwhelming, and the surging energy waves rolled up the sky. Beerus raised his right hand, palm facing Son Gohan. In an instant, a faint light appeared from his 5 fingers, and a ball of energy rushed towards Son Gohan. Son Gohan turned his head to avoid the purple energy ball, and his figure disappeared in an instant. The next moment, he appeared in front of Beerus, and his fist, which was bigger than a casserole, hit Beerus' chest with all his strength. Boom, strong flash of light. Beerus' body was knocked flying by this heavy punch. Son Gohan raised his hand and waved it. 5 energy balls rushed out from his fingertips and whizzed towards Beerus, who was flying backwards. Hee. Beerus laughed grimly while flying backwards. He forced his body to straighten and swung his right hand, knocking all 5 energy balls away. Those energy balls hit the sea surface, causing loud explosions. The seawater rushed into the sky and heavy rain fell from the sky. Not bad. He's indeed much stronger than Sun Wukong. Beerus did not hesitate to praise. Although it was only the first round of attack, Beerus could already see that Son Gohan was extraordinary. Although this transformation of Son Gohan is not Super Saiyan God, nor does it possess the aura of God, its power is far greater than that of Son Goku just now. This guy is really capable. No wonder both King Kai and Son Goku praised him just now. Is this a way to shake the gods with a mortal body? Interesting, it is indeed very interesting. Thinking of this, a cold light flashed in Beerus' eyes. He leaped into the air and appeared next to Son Gohan in an instant. Not good. Every cell in Son Gohan's body sent danger signals to his brain. Son Gohan raised his hand to block. Beerus' sweeping leg kick hit Son Gohan's arm. The point of fulcrum is calculated perfectly. Son Gohan only felt his arm go numb and his body was knocked back. Beerus took advantage of the situation and chased after him. Son Gohan immediately raised his hands to gather his energy. Spilito's attack form air sword. A 2-meter-long air blade gushed out from his right hand and slashed towards Beerus, who was rushing towards him. Beerus raised his hand and grabbed the air sword, but the air blade created a series of sparks in his hand. The sound of dang 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 is endless. There was a hint of surprise in Beerus' eyes. The sharpness of Son Gohan's air blade was beyond his imagination. He originally thought that he could break the air blade into pieces by just raising his hand. Unexpectedly, he was hit by a series of consecutive slashes from Son Gohan, which made his skin numb. In an instant, Son Gohan changed from slashing to stabbing, and his energy sword spewed out, stabbing towards Beerus. Seeing the powerful air sword coming towards him, Beerus clasped his palms together and clamped the air sword. Just as he snorted coldly and was about to use his strength to break the air sword, he suddenly discovered that the air sword he was holding tightly disappeared and appeared in Son Gohan's left hand. The same move came from the left hand. Beerus was almost annoyed to death. Although it is impossible to break his defense, no one wants to be stabbed by such a sharp object. That's too bad. Beerus jumped back to dodge Son Gohan's attack and swung his left and right hands, and 2 energy balls hit Son Gohan at the same time. 2 whooshing sounds, 2 consecutive attacks with the Kai sword. The 2 energy balls thrown out by Beerus were cut into 4 pieces and exploded behind Son Gohan. Interesting. Beerus laughed and began to increase his strength. It is obviously impossible to deal with Son Gohan with the power that he just used to fight Son Goku. Beerus' body burned with purple flames and the void began to distort due to the burning. His strength was enhanced. He laughed and said, "Haha, although this move of yours is a bit weird, it is useless under absolute power," he said, quickly rushing towards Son Gohan. Fast, what a great speed, even faster than teleportation. As soon as this thought flashed through Son Gohan's mind, Beerus' fist came whistling and scratched his face. Son Gohan didn't dare to hold back at all. He instantly gathered all his strength in his right fist and blasted out as well. The 2 fists collided violently. With a loud bang, lightning and thunder flashed in the sky, and a tsunami rose into the sky. with the two of them as the center. Strong energy waves radiated in all directions. Looking down from a high altitude, a circle of strong light burst out from the surface of the Earth, and terrifying air waves vibrated out into the deep space of the universe. The Earth began to shake again. The sea beneath their feet evaporated in an instant, and the Earth instantly shrank by 1/10 its area. The people watching the fight were terrified. The aura that Son Gohan exudes now is much more terrifying than when he fought against Cooler just now. It was difficult for them to understand why Son Gohan's aura had increased again in such a short period of time. However, when he thought about the strength of Sun Wukong just now, he felt relieved after several jumps. As everyone knows, the father and son of the Sun family have always been quite perverted, and this perversion has not been going on for just 1 or 2 days. After Son Gohan and Beerus exchanged fists, they were each knocked back several steps. Son Gohan looked down at the earth and smiled bitterly. "Lord Beerus, let's fly higher. It is good." The two of them, one in front and one behind, one red and one purple, flew higher into the sky. Boom, boom, boom. They kept colliding, chasing each other. All the clouds in the sky were shattered. This kind of fierce fist-to-flesh fight made Son Gohan's blood boil, and he became more and more courageous as the fight went on. His proficiency in the Super Saiyan 4 transformation, which he was not very proficient at before, increased rapidly, and his aura also continued to grow stronger. This battle was so exciting, because I know that Beerus has unfathomable strength. So Son Gohan did not hold back at all and used 100% of his strength in every move and every style. He's trying to push his limits. He really wanted to see where his limits were. Every cell in his body was excited, as if it had been reborn, greedily absorbing the divine aura emitted by Beerus during the battle. After a half-hour-long battle, Son Gohan's aura did not decrease at all, but instead became more and more abundant and purer. Boom! Beerus and Son Gohan each condensed a ball of energy and slapped it together. After the violent explosion, the two heads collided violently again. There were stars above their heads, but the fighting spirit in their eyes was at its peak. The two separated. The look in Beerus' eyes when he looked at Son Gohan became more and more weird. He found that Son Gohan in front of him seemed to have no idea what tiredness was. The more we fight, the stronger and braver we become. Not only that, he also gradually discovered that a small amount of divine aura began to be mixed in Son Gohan's attacks. How is this going? Son Gohan clearly did not become Super Saiyan God. And after such a long battle, Beerus gradually understood Son Gohan's Super Saiyan transformation. This transformation of Son Gohan is completely different from Super Saiyan God. If Super Saiyan God is the path of God, it is the practice of the breath of God. Then the Son Gohan in front of us should go to the other extreme, which is to strengthen and purify the Saiyan bloodline. The endurance is amazing and the defense is also abnormal. This seems like a form born for combat. But what is this trace of divine aura mixed in with this power? Could it be that the Son Gohan in front of him wanted to combine the two into one and practice both the bloodline and the breath of God at the same time? And there's something strange about the divine aura in Son Gohan's body, unlike Son Wukong, who obtained it through a ritual. The trace of divine aura in Son Gohan's body is clearly the energy possessed by him, the god of destruction. For a moment, Beerus found it too difficult to comment. Beerus felt like his child was taken away from him. Anyway, it's a bit outrageous. It can be said that it is unheard of, unseen, the biggest chicken in the world. Lord Beerus, do you want to continue? Son Gohan asked with a burning gaze. Go on, of course. Beerus smiled coldly, ready to fight again. He was very upset and needed to vent his anger through fighting. Come on, ha. The two of them actually laughed out loud at the same time and then started fighting fiercely again. As they fought, the two men broke through the atmosphere and plunged into the vast universe. The two men were fighting further and further away and could no longer be seen. Everyone watching the game became anxious. They cannot go into the universe. He had no choice but to return to the square of the Temple of Heaven in frustration. Seeing their expressions, Weiss smiled and said, "Do you want to watch the battle?" "Yes, that's right." Son Wukong nodded. "Do you have any solution?" "It's a piece of cake," Weiss said, tapping the scepter on the ground. Suddenly, the black magic bead on the top of Weiss's scepter emitted light and projected into the air. The scene of Son Gohan and Beerus fighting immediately appeared in the air. Everyone couldn't help but marvel at it. Now Son Gohan and Beerus appear in a galaxy with no trace of life. The two were fighting on an asteroid. Son Gohan punched Beerus, but Beerus dodged it by flying into the sky. Son Gohan smashed his fist directly onto the ground. The planet beneath his feet exploded and turned into powder. Beerus raised his hand to the sky and threw a golden burning energy bomb towards Son Gohan, who was standing in the void. Son Gohan was full of arrogance. The tenfold Kamehameha wave turned into alternating red and blue and rushed towards the golden energy ball that was powerful enough to destroy the entire galaxy. Boom, two energies collide. The image projected by Weiss turned a blinding pale white, and the battle scene could no longer be seen. In the unknown deep space, the tenfold Kamehameha wave and Beerus' scorching energy bomb collided with each other, resulting in a stalemate. The extremely powerful energy aftermath spread out in circles, and several asteroids turned into beautiful fireworks. Ha! Son Gohan began to increase his aura again, and the 10 times Kamehameha wave became even more powerful, and the energy column became thicker. Feeling the changes in the Kamehameha wave, Beerus on the other side was very surprised. I wondered how this kid Son Gohan could increase his energy. It was simply incredible. He could see Son Gohan's age. He was only 25 or 26 years old. How come his strength had reached such an abnormal level? You have to know that a god of destruction like him has existed for tens of millions of years. It is incredible that Son Gohan has grown to his current level in more than 20 years. What would happen if he were given another tens of thousands of years? Complete, I can't say it, and I dare not say it. Anyway, I dare not imagine it. Seeing that Son Gohan increased his energy output to push back his own hot energy bomb, Beerus also raised his hand to press down. The hot energy bomb exerted force again and pressed towards Son Gohan. After Beerus exerted pressure, Son Gohan's face became extremely ferocious, veins on his hands bulged, and the blood in his body began to boil. He could hear his own heartbeat and the sound of his blood flowing. My whole body became hot and a terrible heat emanated from my body. Suddenly, boom, the scorching air bomb and the tenfold Kamehameha wave exploded between the two. Powerful energy swept out, and the galaxy was wiped out in an instant. Puff, Son Gohan raised his head and spat out a mouthful of blood, then fell over in the vast universe. Beerus also covered his chest and took several steps back. Beerus, looking at the direction where Son Gohan fell, Beerus felt a little complicated. Good boy, you made my blood boil. I don't know how he is doing. I think he was seriously injured. Thinking of this, Beerus flew towards Son Gohan, wanting to check on his injuries. As a result, when he was halfway through the flight, he saw Son Gohan jumped up as if nothing had happened and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Beerus, in a short period of time, he, as the god of destruction, was speechless twice. This kid's potential is amazing. I wonder how much he will grow in the future. Since he had already flown over, Beerus still asked, "How are you, kid? Are you okay?" It's okay. I was really scared just now. Son Gohan said, "Not only you were shocked, I was shocked too." Beerus couldn't help but complain in his heart. Let's leave it at that for today. No more fighting? Yeah, that's fine. Son Gohan nodded and stretched his muscles, making crackling sounds all over his body. I ask you, what kind of transformation is this? Beerus looked at Son Gohan curiously. Super Saiyan 4. Son Gohan answered truthfully. Beerus nodded. Super Saiyan 4, very good. Lord Beerus, I also want to ask you, how much of your strength did you use in this battle just now? Son Gohan asked curiously. Let's keep this secret for now. Beerus clenched his right fist and placed it under his nose, then coughed twice. Still playing this trick, are you ready to patch it later? Son Gohan was too exhausted to complain, but never mind, there's no need to get to the bottom of it, because it doesn't make any sense. Hey, let's go back to Earth. Then Son Gohan took Beerus back to the Temple of Heaven in an instant. See Son Gohan and Beerus come back. Trunks and the others looked at Son Gohan with even more admiration. If the battle between Son Goku and Beerus just now opened their eyes. The battle between Son Gohan and Beerus surprised them. Such a battle, can Saiyans really do this? It completely overturned everyone's understanding. Seeing her father come back, Xiaofeng insisted on returning to her father's arms. Son Gohan took Xiaofeng from Piccolo and pinched her pink little face. She was satisfied and buried her head in Son Gohan's chest with a smile. I plan to never come out again. Looking at the aggrieved dragon in the sky, Son Gohan recalled a classic line with some amusement and was attacked by the memory of the dead again. Hey, Shenlong, come out and clean the floor. Then the IQ representative contestant Piccolo began to make a wish to the dragon. The first wish is to resurrect the humans killed by Babidi. The second wish is to repair the Earth that has experienced 2 world wars. I asked Beerus for help before making my third wish, about the planets that were destroyed in the battle. Beerus said that those planets were dead planets and should not have existed in the first place, so there was no need to restore them. Therefore, the third wish is to strengthen the Earth's inner core and strengthen it severely. The 3 wishes were successfully fulfilled. The dragon finally breathed a sigh of relief, said goodbye to Beerus timidly, and then turned into 7 streams of light and flew away. At this time, Beerus was showing off his food. Seeing Beerus eating, Son Gohan touched his stomach and felt a little hungry too. After all, after such a fierce battle, it is very reasonable for the body to send out signals that it needs to replenish energy. Holding Xiaofeng, Son Gohan walked towards Wise and Beerus. Son Gohan thought Beerus and Wise were eating the food they hadn't finished. When I walked to the side, I found a table full of new steaming dishes. What's going on? Who's giving special treatment? Just when Son Gohan was full of questions, he found that Popo and Den were constantly bringing out food from the Temple of Heaven. Good guy, sure enough, you are there, Dandy and Mr. Bobo. You are very good at handling things. Dandy smiled and said, Mr. Bobo made a lot, everyone can eat together. Well, it's like a post-war party. Delicious food always makes people happy. When it was his turn, King of the Kings raised his hand and conjured up several square tables and a pile of chairs. Everyone got busy, set the table, serve the dishes, and cook. The first food festival of Tianjin Temple has begun. After eating and drinking enough, Wise asked with a smile. Who did you learn this martial arts from, Mr. Gohan? Looking at this unfathomable angel, Son Gohan did not hide anything. I learned it from Uncle Piccolo and my dad when I was a kid, and I've been exploring and practicing on my own since I grew up. It can be seen that Mr. Gohan is now better than his predecessor. It's really amazing, hee hee. Beerus next to him glanced over. Weiss, are you interested in his talent? Do you want to give him some pointers? Hee hee, Lord Beerus saw through me. No, I don't agree with this. Beerus shook his head. Why? Weiss even asked the question with a smile. Why? Because this guy is obviously more suitable for my path. It would be better to let me. Although he thought so in his heart, Beerus would not say it on the surface. No reason. He crossed his arms and looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle. Son Gohan next to him seemed to see another Vegeta shining. Well, Beerus did want to teach Son Gohan something, but he still wanted to observe Son Gohan further. Seeing that he was about to miss the angel's guidance, Son Gohan was not in a hurry. There was still a long time to come, and there were plenty of opportunities. He knows Wise and Beerus' weaknesses very well. Isn't it only a matter of time before he can figure them out? Eat as much as you can. Cough, cough. Afterwards, Son Gohan made an agreement to summon the two bosses with delicious food. On the occasion of parting, Beerus walked up to King Kai, stared at him with a bad look on his face, and said, "Asshole, stop running around. It's very dangerous out here." Okay, fine. King Kai was confused and had no idea what Beerus meant. Concern, intimidation, or is it both caring and threatening? Although I didn't understand, I had to nod and agree. The opponent is really too powerful, so powerful that it is beyond comprehension. A few minutes later, Wise, carrying two bags packed with delicious food on his shoulders, and Beerus, turned into a ray of light and soared into the sky, disappearing into the vast Milky Way. They returned to Destroyer. In the following days, everyone continued to practice hard and returned to a peaceful life. 2 months later, Vegeta also performed a Super Saiyan God ritual and experienced the pleasure of being a Super Saiyan God. However, after fighting with Son Goku, he found that although both were in the Super Saiyan God form, Son Goku was much stronger than him. But there was nothing he could do. After all, Kakarot had much more experience in cultivation than him. Another 3 months passed in a flash. Klin actually found his unforgettable first love, Big Palmer. The two were attracted to each other and rekindled their old love, starting a middle-aged romance and getting married in a flash a month later. From then on, Klin lived a life with a lovely wife at home, and he felt light-footed all day long. Although Yamcha was envious and yearning for it, he did not want to find someone to marry. In his own opinion, he wanted to be a free wanderer. The whole earth is his home. As for Tianjin rice and dumplings, there is no need to mention it. It is unlikely that these two crazy cultivators who depend on each other will ever get married and start a family in this lifetime. Maybe this is their life. Life is never defined. Not everyone has to get married and have children. Some people come to this world to see the beautiful mountains and rivers and appreciate the scenery, while others come to this world to constantly challenge themselves and break through themselves. Tianjin rice and dumplings obviously belong to the latter. Although their power is insignificant in this era, they are making progress every day. Just this makes them feel satisfied. Another month has passed quietly. Trunks finally broke through his bottleneck and completed the transformation to Super Saiyan 4. There's a slight difference between Trunks' Super Saiyan 4 and Son Gohan's Super Saiyan 4. After the transformation, Trunks' size and height are not as tall as Son Gohan, but he is also over 1.8 meters. His hair was not fluffy black, but retained its original purple color, only the hairstyle had changed. The exposed body hair is the same color as the same great purple. Still very handsome anyway. Until now, except for Piccolo, the combat effectiveness of several Saiyan main forces has been greatly improved. On this day, Son Gohan came to the Temple of Heaven. Feeling the breath of Son Gohan, Piccolo, who was sitting cross-legged in the air meditating, woke up. He opened his eyes and floated to the ground. "Gohan, why are you here? Come and see Uncle Piccolo and Dendi," Son Gohan said with a smile, looking him up and down. At this time, Piccolo looked worried. Seeing this, Son Gohan asked, "Uncle Piccolo, are you having any problems with your training?" "Yeah." Piccolo nodded and said bitterly, "Although I don't want to admit it, it seems that my strength can no longer keep up with you Saiyans. Even the weakest Vegeta has begun to learn to control the power of Super Saiyan God, but I have been standing still. Gohan, I seem to have hit a bottleneck that I can no longer break. I'm afraid my strength won't improve anymore." This was the first time Son Gohan saw Piccolo like this, somewhat unconfident and somewhat frustrated. A series of things have happened recently, and Piccolo has not been able to help at all, so his mentality has changed a bit. If we go by what some novels from previous lives say, Piccolo now seems to have a mental demon. Thinking back to those days, he was a very influential figure. Looking at him, Son Gohan said seriously, "Uncle Piccolo, don't be anxious. Do you still remember when you taught me? You said that a strong person must have the spirit of not admitting defeat and must dare to constantly take on new challenges. Piccolo is such a smart man. Of course he knows that Son Gohan is trying to encourage and enlighten him. Looking back, this is how he educated 4-year-old Son Gohan. It's just that now the roles have been reversed. Son Gohan has grown up, and he became the one being guided. But Gohan, what should I do now? Piccolo looked at Son Gohan with complicated eyes. Uncle Piccolo, I actually think there's a way that can help you. Son Gohan said, Is there a way? Hearing what Son Gohan said, Piccolo perked up, his breathing became a little faster, and he looked at Son Gohan with burning eyes, waiting for his next words. Son Gohan continued, Uncle Piccolo should still remember the great elder of Namek from a long time ago, right? He can activate the potential of others. If Uncle Piccolo activates the potential now, then the so-called bottleneck period will naturally break through. But the great elder is dead. Piccolo said, but before Son Gohan could continue speaking, his eyes lit up. Gohan, do you mean to let me use the power of Shenlong to trigger the potential in my body? Yes, Uncle Piccolo is still as smart as ever. Son Gohan smiled. It's so easy to talk to smart people. Yes, the dragon, there is also a dragon. Thinking of this, Piccolo's heart beat faster, and he felt that the future was promising. Come on, Uncle Piccolo, will you accompany me to the spirit time chamber to train for a year or two? Son Gohan laughed. Okay, Piccolo's voice was full of energy. Inside the spirit time house, Son Gohan is sparring with Piccolo. Son Gohan now doesn't need to transform into any form. Just his most ordinary state is enough to overwhelm Piccolo. After years of continuous practice, his normal combat capability has become extremely terrifying. After a hearty battle, Piccolo sighed, Gohan, you are really too strong now. When I first taught you, I found that your potential was very terrifying. Sure enough, you have reached such a terrifying level now. Haha, I've been training all these years, so it's not surprising. Son Gohan said with a smile, let's not talk about me first. Uncle Piccolo, you also broke through your bottleneck half a year after coming here. The bottleneck you mentioned no longer exists. This is a happy thing. Haha, this is all thanks to you, Gohan. If you hadn't been accompanying me in training, I wouldn't have been able to break through on my own. Yes, half a year after entering the spirit time chamber, Piccolo made a breakthrough and regained his original confidence. Now that he has used all his strength, his whole body is filled with surging aura and lightning. There is a sense of deja vu that Vegeta has transformed into Super Saiyan 2. Fighting is always the best way to improve your combat effectiveness. This is the common answer they both came up with, but now Piccolo is also a little distressed. He said, Gohan, everyone can only enter the spirit time chamber for 2 days in their lifetime. I don't know that you've been in for 2 days before, but now it is considered a time limit. What if you can't get out? He was worried. Son Gohan laughed. Haha, Uncle Piccolo, don't worry about me. This spirit time chamber can no longer trap me. I can break through the space-time barrier of the spiritual time house and leave here at any time. Really, Piccolo was skeptical. Having once been a god, he knows the rules of the spirit time house. The barrier of time and space is not so easy to break, but Son Gohan's firm nod reassured him. Of course, Uncle Piccolo believes that I am. Another half year passed in boring training. On this day, Son Gohan stood there quietly for a long time after fighting with Piccolo. When Piccolo was wondering why Son Gohan was not moving, Son Gohan slowly closed his eyes and clenched his hands. When he opened his eyes again, his body underwent strange changes. His figure became thinner and he had fiery red hair. Red hair, red eyes, red eyelashes, golden red flame. It is the form of Super Saiyan God. Even if Son Gohan had not experienced that strange ritual, he could have transformed into a Super Saiyan God through his own exploration and hard work. Son Gohan clearly sensed that the divine aura he absorbed from Beerus at that time was now countless times stronger and had reached a whole new level. Unable to sense Son Gohan's breath anymore, Piccolo couldn't help but open his mouth wide. After all, he knew that Son Gohan had not gathered the justice of the other 5 people. This is the form he cultivated through his own efforts. The meaning is completely different. The experience is completely different. Son Gohan jumped up and down, stretching his muscles and feeling the new changes in his body. Well, it is very novel and has its merits, but of course, there are also shortcomings that must be mentioned. The body is very flexible and light, and the mind becomes more acute, which are the advantages of this form. But his stamina is really weak. Although his endurance is quite impressive, it is still inferior to that of Super Saiyan 4. Moreover, Son Gohan also intuitively felt that the comprehensive combat capability of this stage of transformation was far inferior to that of Super Saiyan 4. Strictly speaking, the transformation to Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan are not advancements in the same system. Super Saiyan's combat power is multiplied. For example, Super 1 is 50 times the normal level. Super 100 is times the normal level. Super 400 is times the normal level. Today's Super 4 is 4,000 times the normal level. Even Son Gohan's unique ultimate mysterious realm has a multiple increase of 450-500 times. But Super Saiyan God is different. There is no conceptual multiple increase. Although it has a certain relationship with normal combat effectiveness, it is actually not that big. It is more related to whether the aura of God is huge and whether it is used thoroughly. So Son Gohan couldn't tell how many times his current state had increased, because the systems are fundamentally different. It is not a conceptual thing. Uncle Piccolo, come and try it. Son Gohan invited Piccolo. Okay. Piccolo stood up suddenly and rushed towards Son Gohan without saying a word, starting a new round of fighting. After half an hour of fighting, Son Gohan had a deeper understanding of the Super Saiyan God and the aura of God. Son Gohan's philosophy is simple. Only by in-depth analysis and thorough understanding can I use it for my own benefit. Time flies and another half a year has passed. Son Gohan suddenly transformed into Super Saiyan 4. Even though this was not the first time he had seen this transformation, Piccolo still found it very shocking. The visual impact of this transformation is really strong, wild, and violent. He looks like a super warrior who came from ancient time and space. It gives people a sense of power. Not only that, Son Gohan's aura now is completely different from what it was a year ago, too much more powerful. Piccolo felt the pressure coming towards him and almost suffocated. Too strong. Golden flames were pulsating around Son Gohan's body, burning the surrounding space and causing it to distort. Son Gohan focused his eyes and shouted. Piccolo's pupils contracted rapidly. As he shouted, he felt a strange change in Son Gohan's aura. It cannot be captured, but it really exists. Not only that, the surging golden aura also changed. It was no longer the golden color it was before, but turned into pink and finally rose red. There were fluorescent dots all over Son Gohan's skin, which was sparkling and emitting a strange luster. The originally dark red fur became brighter. But the most obvious thing is Son Gohan's long, thick, black and messy hair. My hair is no longer black. Instead, it turned into fluorescent orange-red dots. Super Saiyan 4 breaking the limit. This is the Super Saiyan 4 who possesses the aura of God, a completely new form. This time, Son Gohan also did not absorb other people's energy, because now he can do this on his own without the help of others. My body is now stronger and lighter. The consumption is also very small, perfectly integrating the advantages of the two transformations without any obvious shortcomings. One transformation combines the strengths of both transformations, doubling the combat power to form an unrivaled super soldier. Looking at Son Gohan like this, Piccolo felt really helpless. After a year in the Spirit Time House, he broke through his original bottleneck and became more than twice as strong as before. But look at Son Gohan again. What is this? Is this kid Son Gohan really here to accompany me to practice? Piccolo was about to doubt his life. While Piccolo was in a trance, Son Gohan's voice rang out. Uncle Piccolo, am I handsome now? Handsome. Piccolo nodded heavily, acknowledging his handsomeness. After hearing Piccolo's answer, Son Gohan was finally satisfied. Another month later, the two planned to leave the Spirit Time House. Son Gohan first walked to the door of the Spiritual Time Chamber, only to find that the door had disappeared. This is probably some kind of power of rules. Even though Piccolo hadn't exceeded his time limit, he was trapped in there along with him. Next moment, as Piccolo stared in astonishment, Son Gohan punched directly into the void and tore a crack in the void. The breath outside the Spirit Time House seeped in through the cracks. Is it so easy to break through the space barrier? Piccolo followed Son Gohan out of the crack in astonishment and arrived at the square of the Temple of Heaven. Although more than a year had passed in the Spirit Time House, only one day had actually passed outside, so nothing changes on Earth. Piccolo said to Son Gohan, Gohan, there are still a few months before the next summoning of Shenlong. Do you think I still need the help of Shenlong to improve my potential? After all, my bottleneck has been broken now. Son Gohan said, that depends on you, Uncle Piccolo. If you want to improve your strength quickly, then stimulating your potential is of course the best way. Okay, I understand. Piccolo nodded. Son Gohan then left the Temple of Heaven. He first returned home. As soon as he stepped into the house, Son Wushan saw his brother coming back and ran out. Brother, where did you go yesterday? Why didn't you go home? Brother has something to do and needs to go to the Temple of Heaven to see Uncle Piccolo. Son Gohan smiled and squatted down to rub his hair. Now that Goten is 2 years old, he looks like a mini version of Goku. The 2-year-old Son Wushan could already run very fast and speak very fluently. Even, I have learned the art of flying. You don't even take me out to play Tilda, he pouted, expressing his dissatisfaction with his brother. Haha, because I have something important to do, I'll take you to the amusement park next time, okay. Son Goku became happy when he heard Son Gohan say that he would take him to the amusement park in the future. Goten, where are Xiao and Xiaofeng? Asked Son Gohan. They were catching insects in the back garden just now. Son Wushan raised his hand and pointed in the direction of the back garden. Yeah, the aura is indeed over there. Brother is going to look for Xiaofeng and Xiao. Does Wooten want to come with us? Okay, I'll go. Son Wushan said this and made a face. The two brothers, who were more than 20 years apart in age, came to the back garden. Wu Tian saw Xiao Wu and Xiao Feng chasing butterflies, so he simply ran over to join them. The air was filled with children's laughter. The air is filled with joy. With a quick glance, I saw Baidili lying on a lounge chair, squinting her eyes and basking in the sun. Son Gohan quietly walked over, leaned over, and kissed her smooth forehead. Feeling the warm touch on her forehead, Baidili slowly opened her eyes. Well, I'm back. Then she put her arms around Son Gohan's neck and clung to him like a sloth. He began to move his hands, feet, and mouth, doing some actions that would not pass the review if described. Good guy. What a great guy. My wife wants to do her homework, then as a husband you must at least hand over the pen, looking into Biddle's confused eyes. Son Gohan turned around and shouted to Goten, Goten, go find mom and look after Xiaofeng and Xiao for a while. Okay, brother. Whoosh, Son Gohan disappeared holding Videl 2.5 hours later on a big bed in a 5-star hotel. You didn't go home yesterday. Where did you go? Videl drew circles on Son Gohan's chest. The soft quilt covered their bodies, and Baidili's voice sounded a little numb. Her face still had a flush from finishing her homework. That tender and mature face has taken on a unique charm with the presence of Xiao and Xiaofeng. The curves of the graceful body under the quilt are all content that cannot pass review. Son Gohan pinched it, then said, I have something to do with Uncle Piccolo. Didn't you go to the police station today? Hate it, today is a day off, you forgot. Videl squirmed. Oh yes, today is a day off. After a year in the spirit time chamber, Son Gohan's time was so confused that he couldn't even remember what day it was. Do we have to do the homework again? Son Gohan asked, his hands itching again. This homework can never be finished. It can never be finished. No, I already got full marks. Videl looked at Son Gohan seductively with her watery eyes, her expression filled with satisfaction of being conquered. My homework is full and I can't do any more. Okay, let's write it tomorrow. Son Gohan nodded. After Baidili had a good rest and took a shower, the two returned to Bayazi Mountain again. Seeing Gohan and Videl coming back, Kai, who was looking at the child, said she would go to the kitchen to see if the food was ready. Then he turned and walked towards the kitchen. Xiaofeng, Xiao, come here to Daddy. Son Gohan squatted down and shouted. Dad, the two children rushed over like a gust of wind. Son Gohan held the two children in his arms, one in his left hand and one in his right hand. Looking into Son Gohan's eyes, Xiao Wu asked curiously, Dad, where did you take Mom when you came back? Oh, Mom is hungry, so Dad took her to eat. Son Gohan said with a smile. Xiao Wu pouted and said, Mom and Dad only know how to steal food. We are hungry too, but they don't care about me and my sister. Haha, then Dad will take you to eat now. Son Gohan said with a smile, what to eat? Hearing Gohan's nonsense, Videl pinched the soft flesh on Gohan's waist and twisted it. But Son Gohan is thick-skinned. Hi, nothing happened. Okay. Hearing that they were going to eat, the two children jumped for joy. Forgive Mom and Dad. Brother, I want to eat too. Goten pulled Son Gohan's trouser leg. Okay, let's go together. Son Gohan agreed. Videl took Goten's hand. The family walked happily towards the restaurant. It's time for dinner and the chef should have prepared delicious food. Another 3 months have passed. Bulma was secretly pregnant, surprising everyone. Vegeta walked with his head held high, looking up at the sky at a 45-degree angle with a cold look, but in fact he could no longer hold back the joy in his heart. Reward company employees when you see them. Even the dog passing by got a delicious chicken drumstick. Trunks immediately went to Bun Mountain to show off to Son Gohan, his mouth grinning almost to his ears. He kept muttering to himself, I don't know if it's a brother or a sister. Actually, I want a sister. After all, now I have a brother like Goten. It would be nice if it was a sister. Gohan, babies have to be gestated for 10 months before they are born, right? I wonder if it will be on time then. It's really worrying, Son Gohan. Please, I just got pregnant. If I told you that there was a guy in a Bella band who lived in his mother's belly for 3 years, wouldn't you go crazy? It's been almost a year. The greedy Beerus and Wise come to Earth again. Just in time for the celebratory party held by Trunks' family. 2 foodies were possessed by starving ghosts and were giggling and showing off. People who don't know might think that this is a poor relative of Bulma's who came from some remote place to eat and drink for free. Delicious, delicious, Lord Beerus. This pudding is really delicious. You should try it too. Wise highly recommends a bouncy, buttery pudding. Ah, you've almost eaten all of Wise. There's only one left. Beerus' eyes widened as big as bells and snatched the only remaining pudding. Hateful, Beerus glared at Wise. Wise smiled. Son Gohan brought over a large plate of new pudding and placed it in front of Wise and Beerus. Lord Beerus, please call me Gourmet Warrior. I have grabbed the last of the butter pudding for both of you. Haha, thank you, Mr. Gohan. Wise covered his mouth and chuckled. Ahaha, Tilda. Beerus opened his mouth wide and threw a pudding into it. Chew it with a smack, then swallow it with a gulp. Wow, it's really delicious. His eyes lit up and he exclaimed in praise. Very smooth, very sweet, and feels like it's moving in your mouth. Son Gohan sat down next to the two gods. Beerus was happy. Son Gohan said with a smile, Lord Beerus, I have a small request. Son Gohan put his thumb and index finger together and made a very, very small gesture. What do you want to eat? Beerus immediately hugged pudding. The main focus is on food protection. No, my request has nothing to do with pudding. Then just say it. Beerus waved his hand, scaring the god of destruction. Son Gohan chuckled and said, can you teach us how to practice? Trunks, my dad, Uncle Vegeta, Uncle Piccolo, they are all rare geniuses. You and Wise wouldn't want them to be neglected, right? Is that it? Beerus looked at Son Gohan seriously. Yes, that's it, Son Gohan said. Do you agree to this? You know, after all, the Earth is often invaded by powerful enemies, and we are so weak that it is difficult to guarantee that we can protect the Earth. Son Gohan spread his hands and revealed his cards. This is my open conspiracy. Haha. Weiss next to him kept covering his mouth and chuckling. Beerus ate the cream pudding and nodded. No problem, it's okay. In fact, he had been waiting for Son Gohan to speak to him. Isn't this better than taking the initiative to teach him something? But this kid dragged it out for a whole year. He has taken a nap. Beerus continued, you guys can all go to Planet Destroyer to study, and Wise will occasionally give you some pointers. Son Gohan looked at Wise. Weiss had a smiling expression the whole time, but his eyes were narrowed. Thinking that Son Gohan was wondering why they had to let Wise teach them, Beerus explained, Weiss is my attendant on the surface, but he is actually my teacher. I know that, however, Son Gohan still pretended to be surprised and said, doesn't that mean Wise Senpai is even more powerful than Beerus-sama, HMPH? Beerus turned his head to the side. Although what Son Gohan said was true, Beerus felt that his little heart was hurt and he needed to eat 2 more puddings to make up for it and heal it. Then when can we go to Planet Destroyer? Son Gohan asked. Wise smiled and said, it will only take a moment, Mr. Gohan. Oh, okay, then I'll go talk to them and pack some delicious food. Son Gohan said hurriedly, then pack more. Wait until Son Gohan walks away. Beerus looked at Wise and said, Wise, do you think I am doing the right thing? Wise smiled and said, hee, Lord Beerus has been sleeping for so long and finally wants to do something that must be right. Right now, our 7th universe is relatively weak and we really need to improve our overall strength. And Mr. Gohan and the others are all rare geniuses. The future still depends on them. Okay, Badgie, the other side. Son Gohan gathered several Saiyans and Piccolo together. I just made a request to Lord Beerus, asking him to teach us how to train, and he agreed. Son Gohan went straight to the point. Ah, really? Sun Wukong showed a surprised expression. He was the one who fought Beerus. When he was resting after the battle, he recalled the battle process and found that Beerus had deceived him. Lord Beerus actually didn't use 70% of his strength to fight him. In other words, Lord Beerus' power far exceeds his. Now that Beerus can teach them something that is truly what they want, Sun Wukong felt very happy. Can I do it too? Piccolo pointed at himself, feeling a little surprised. Now that he has dropped down in version, Gohan still remembers him. It makes me cry. Son Gohan said, Uncle Piccolo, you have a huge power in your body. Don't underestimate yourself. My good Gohan. Piccolo's eyes were moist. Vegeta and Trunks were also very excited after hearing what Son Gohan said. But Vegeta quickly came to his senses. Go to practice. What about Bulma? He asked. Gohan, do you want to go to Planet Destroyer to train? Yeah, what's wrong? Bulma is pregnant. I'm afraid. I can't go. Vegeta hesitated. Son Gohan was silent for a few seconds. Please, where's your cool personality? It's a failure, Uncle Vegeta. Is it appropriate to pamper your wife like this now? He had no choice but to explain. It's okay. Aunt Bulma is just pregnant and won't be affected at all. Besides, we are not going to stay here forever. We can come back every few days or a week. That's okay. Vegeta and Trunks breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. We'll be leaving soon, so Trunks, we need to prepare more food. Is it okay for you to leave it to us? Son Gohan said to Trunks. No problem, leave it to me. Trunks pouted his chest. Go prepare food immediately. The others were already looking forward to it. What does Planet Destroyer look like? I wonder if there is anything delicious up there. Sun Wukong. Vegeta thought, no, definitely not. The idea in your mind is instantly rejected. Lord Beerus and the others seem to have never seen the world. Even the noodles in a bucket taste good. So the probability of having something delicious on Destroyer is almost 0. We can only hope that Trunks packs more. In half an hour, several people explained the situation to their families. Trunks also fulfilled his mission and returned with a full load. They all stood next to Weiss. Weiss tapped the base of the scepter gently on the ground. Son Gohan and the others followed Beerus and Wise and turned into a beam of light and soared into the sky, heading towards the distant Planet Destroyer. Prepare for a new journey. After about 20 minutes, everyone successfully arrived at the Destroyer planet. In fact, Son Gohan wanted to ask Wise why he didn't just teleport back directly. After all, even Jabbit can perform super teleportation at will. As an angel, there's no reason why Weiss wouldn't be able to do that. Could it be that because the priesthood is different, the divine skills they possess are also different? But shouldn't this thing be backward compatible? It's understandable that Jepital doesn't know Wise's divine control technique, but it feels really weird that Weiss doesn't have Jebbit's skills. Bug, definitely a BUG. The few new arrivals looked at Planet Destroyer curiously. The energy here is abundant, and living here for a long time can help prolong your life. It is indeed the realm of gods. It is an existence as famous as Kaioshin planet, when Wise introduced the Destroyer planet to everyone. Son Gohan took out the communication bead and began to contact Old Kai. Soon, the portrait of Old Kai appeared on the communication bead. Beerus leaned his head closer and grinned. As a result, the Old Kai on planet Kaioshin let out a strange cry and dropped his communication bead. Son Gohan, is it really that scary? Mullet Row, what a coward. Beerus almost gave Old Kai the middle finger. Son Gohan quietly covered Beerus with his body. Trying to communicate, Grandpa, I have something to ask you. Old Kai didn't answer, but the portrait of Shin Kai Shin appeared on the communication bead. He smiled and asked, Gohan, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? Yes, it's the same if I tell Lord Kaioshin. Son Gohan said, it's like this, Lord Kaioshin. We are now following Lord Beerus to the planet of the god of destruction for training, so Lord Kaioshin will trouble you to take care of the earth. If there is anything, could you please let us know, please? King Kai smiled and agreed, of course, no problem. I will be watching the earth even if Gohan doesn't tell me. I will also tell King Kai of the North so that we can ensure everything is safe. Thank you, Lord Kaioshin, said Son Gohan. You're welcome, Gohan. Give my regards to Lord Beerus. Okay, I will. Son Gohan turned to Beerus and said, Baru-sama, Lord Kai said he missed you. Oh, really? Let me see. Beerus leaned his head closer again. The Kaioshin on the other side's hand trembled, and he almost dropped the communication bead. Hello, Lord Beerus, King God said somewhat embarrassedly. Well, don't run around, Beerus said, then disappeared into the communication bead and ignored him. King of the Gods wiped the non-existent sweat from his forehead and breathed a sigh of relief. Son Gohan, the funny guy next to them, thought that this couple was really funny and great to watch. King Kai continued, Gohan, those senzu beans you planted are ripe. I asked Jeppet to collect them. I counted them. This time I harvested a total of 456 senzu beans. Then I asked Jeppet to plant 10 more. They are all with me now. I will give them to you next time you come. Good news, this is good news. Son Gohan was delighted and laughed, haha, Lord Kaioshin, why don't you plant all the remaining 56 seeds? Planting only 10 seeds makes us look too stingy. Next time I come over, I'll bring you something delicious. Ah, that's fine. King of the Gods nodded. Alas, planet Kaioshin finally became a vegetable garden and King Kai sighed helplessly. But to be honest, it's quite a waste and very boring to leave it idle. This crop looks interesting. From sowing to harvesting, there's a sense of pleasure in playing a cultivation game. Holding the green fairy beans in my hands, the sense of accomplishment in my heart is overflowing. Put away the communication beads. Everyone has arrived at the palace of the god of destruction. Come to the main hall. The bubble-blowing prophecy fish emerged from the water and became unusually active. It kept blowing bubbles from its mouth and making noises. Saiyan Superman, masked Saiyan Superman. Several black lines appeared on Son Gohan's forehead. Damn it, what on earth did it see? Beerus went over and flicked the prophecy fish on the forehead and it finally calmed down. Beerus pointed to the empty rooms. Choose a room for each of you. You may have to stay here for a while. Beerus said this and imitated Son Gohan, putting his thumb and index finger together and making a very small metaphor. After a while, next to a huge lake on the planet Destroyer, a pink water monster popped its head out of the lake and looked at the human figure on the shore curiously. At this moment, Beerus leaned against a nearby rock bored by the lake, holding a bucket of chicken wings in his hand, throwing out a chicken wing for a long time and then opening his mouth to catch it. The others were about to fight Whis one by one. The one fighting Whis now is Trunks. Trunks, who transformed into Super Saiyan 4, launched a fierce attack on Whis, but all of those attacks were easily dodged by Whis. Without any surprise, Whis gently tapped Trunks on the back of the neck, and Trunks instantly returned to normal and was defeated. How amazing! He defeated Super Saiyan 4 so easily. Everyone except Son Gohan and Beerus was shocked. This Whis-senpai is even more powerful than Lord Beerus. Who's next? Whis stood there quietly, striking a pose. The only thing missing is a sentence. I'll ask. I'll do it. Sun Wukong stepped out. Seeing Whis defeat Super Saiyan 4 Trunks so easily, Goku did not dare to be careless and instantly transformed into the form of a Super Saiyan god. The whole body was burning with golden red flames. Whoosh! With a teleportation, Sun Wukong appeared beside Whis and punched Whis. Whis' body seemed to react automatically, dodging Goku's attack perfectly. Son Gohan's eyes lit up. Is this the ultimate instinct? Let me observe carefully. Whis dodged his fist and Goku's second wave of attack came again. This time it was a leg strike. The legs are powerful and the wind is howling, but Whis dodged it easily as well. At this moment, Whis was like a gust of wind, a cloud, a ball of cotton. He could not be hit or touched, and there seemed to be no force points. He was flawless. Whis dodged Sun Wukong's attack and said to the remaining people with a smile, Haha, why don't you all come up together, okay? Using the most gentle tone and saying the most awesome words is probably what Whis is doing now. Since Whis said so, the others didn't hesitate. Vegeta quickly transformed into a Super Saiyan god with red hair, red eyes, and red eyebrows. Piccolo's whole body was bursting with silver aura, his muscles swelled, and lightning flashed around him. Son Gohan also let out a ha-ha and transformed into Super Saiyan 4, and his body and demeanor soon changed again. The surging flames turned into fluorescent rose red, burning the surrounding air and causing it to distort continuously. The dark red fur on its body became brighter and kept flashing. The thick black shoulder-length hair also turned into a fluorescent orange-red color. Super Saiyan 4 limit-breaking form. This is Super Saiyan 4 with the aura of God superimposed on it. Beerus, holding the bucket of chicken wings, stood up suddenly. Only a year has passed. Even Whis looked at Son Gohan curiously. I thought to myself, it's only been a year and Mr. Gohan's aura has changed dramatically. How can there be such an incredible human being? Yes, boundary breaking looks simple. It's just Super Saiyan 4 superimposed with the form of God. But in fact, it is not so easy to open two accounts with one account. After all, this is the fusion of two different systems. The effort put in is simply unimaginable for ordinary people. If they knew that Son Gohan's divine aura was cultivated by himself, they would be even more surprised. After breaking through the limit, Son Gohan could sense the aura of Wise and Beerus more clearly. Not only that, he could also vaguely sense the faint divine aura of King Kai coming from the King Kai realm. In other words, he can now use instant teleportation to planet Kaioshin. Then let Jebbet teleport him back to Earth. Wonderful, really wonderful. The whole process only takes a few seconds. No need to wait 20 minutes. Thinking of this, Son Gohan laughed in his heart. I'm a man who knows how to take shortcuts. Vegeta gave Son Gohan a numb look, because he knew that Son Gohan did not perform that weird Super Saiyan God ritual at all. So he is the most shocked one now. Shocked to the point of numbness. Destroy it, I'm really tired. Vegeta gritted his teeth and rushed towards Wise angrily, joining forces with Son Goku to fight the enemy for the first time. But something amazing happened. Although it was the first time they worked together, the two of them cooperated seamlessly. This made Vegeta even more silent. Piccolo also rushed forward in anger. Son Gohan also teleported into the battle, fighting Wise with 4 against 1. But soon Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo were eliminated one by one. Finally, it evolved into a 1v1 mode. After the battle, Son Gohan felt the horror of Wise more intuitively. Wise's every move and gesture gave people tremendous pressure. This situation is completely different from Beerus. When fighting with Beerus, Son Gohan could at least feel that the future was promising and felt that he would definitely surpass Beerus in the future. But after fighting with Wise, Son Gohan discovered the seriousness of the problem. Wise's strength is simply unimaginable. If you say that you are a flowing stream, that vest is the endless ocean. It was very tolerant, yet could swallow him up completely without a sound. He simply had no way of dealing with Wise. Every attack from Son Gohan was like an antelope hanging from a horn, striking at the most bizarre angles. But Weiss was like dancing in the storm, elegant and calm, relaxed and at ease. Son Gohan didn't even touch the corner of his clothes. PFFT, a 2-meter-long air sword shot out from Son Gohan's right hand and slashed towards Weiss frantically. Weiss laughed as he dodged. Mr. Gohan is very competitive, but you can't beat me like this. Son Gohan blurted out the question. Then how can we defeat it? The mind should be calm as a lake, but the movement should be like the waves of the ocean, turbulent and continuous. No, if you're so familiar with it, are you talking to me about Ultra Instinct, Son Gohan? Mr. Gohan, I'm about to launch an attack. Wise smiled with his eyes narrowed. Whoosh. Wise suddenly disappeared from sight. Even his breath disappeared. Son Gohan felt as if all the hair on his body stood up. Danger. There was a chill at the back of my head, sending dangerous signals to my brain. Son Gohan gritted his teeth and transformed into Spirito's defensive form energy liquefaction. The Kai sword in his hand disappeared instantly. The aura in his body liquefied and compressed wildly, forming a ball of grayish-silver liquid at the back of his neck. Weiss suddenly appeared and touched it with his finger. Boom, the liquefied energy exploded. Son Gohan retreated violently and almost fell into the lake. Weiss froze in place for a moment. He actually failed to kill Son Gohan in an instant. How is this possible, although he didn't take it seriously? But that move just now was so powerful that even some weaker gods of destruction couldn't withstand it. Beerus, who was watching the fight nearby, was also stunned. He remembered very clearly that a long time ago, when he had just started to receive training from Weiss, he was killed instantly by this move of Weiss countless times. I don't know why, but Beerus felt so sour. Even the chicken wings in my hand felt sour. Son Gohan looked at Weiss breathlessly. He was not feeling well. The burst of power from that attack just now consumed almost 90% of his energy. My body is too depleted now. Although the body is already recovering energy like crazy, it still takes a while to get back to full health and mana. After all, his health bar and mana bar are too long now. Majin Buu's super recovery of his physique has become a bit out of date. Wise smiled and said, Mr. Gohan really impressed me. I am also very surprised. Haha, that's because Senior Wise showed mercy. Son Gohan continued, do you still want to fight? No more fighting. Let's stop here today. I understand your situation. Weiss nodded. Next, we need to formulate a training plan. Then, eat, I feel a little hungry. Someone whispered, eat. This suggestion was immediately agreed by most people. Well, for a small number of people, that one is Piccolo. There is no time to practice. 2 months passed quickly. During this period, Son Gohan went to planet Kaioshin and put all 400 Senzu beans into the other dimension. Of course, everyone has a fixed day off every week and returns to Earth to spend a day with their family. It's a bit like working with only one day off. People call it food supply, this day, on the planet Destroyer. The training task arranged by Weiss is a 1v1 battle. Piccolo vs Trunks, Son Goku vs Vegeta, Son Gohan vs Beerus, 3 fantastic fights. The first is the battle between Trunks and Piccolo. Trunks did not use Super Saiyan 2 as that would have been too bullying. He just used the Super Saiyan form. The two fought back and forth, which was very exciting. but Piccolo later admitted defeat. His strength is still far behind Trunks. Even if Trunks deliberately lowered his strength and only turned into a Super Saiyan 2, Piccolo was still defeated. After all, the strength itself is there, and there is an unbridgeable gap. However, Piccolo will only be willing to admit defeat if Trunks fights him. If it were Vegeta, Piccolo felt there would be only two outcomes. Either he was beaten to death or he was knocked unconscious. It's impossible to give up. It's impossible. Second round, Son Goku vs Vegeta. These are a pair of mortal enemies. Apart from Bulma, the thing Vegeta thinks about every day is to defeat Kakarot and beat Kakarot up. Therefore, the battle has not yet begun. He hasn't become a Super Saiyan God yet. Vegeta's eyes were already red. Damn Kakarot, come on, let's fight to the death. Vegeta clenched his fists and transformed into a Super Saiyan God. Sun Wukong said speechlessly, "Hey Vegeta, it's just a sparring match. It doesn't have to be a life and death duel, right?" Boom. The two fists collided fiercely, causing a strong wave of air to burst out. Sun Wukong and Vegeta fought fiercely. Both of them are in Super Saiyan God form, and the battle is very entertaining to watch. And the strength is not that far apart, so the battle was particularly fierce. If Goku's strength is 6, then Vegeta's is 4. But Sun Wukong's warlike character shaped his fighting style. He wanted to play longer. Therefore, no matter who the opponent is, it always gives people a 50-50 feeling. It would be fine if it was just for discussion. But if you fight a mortal enemy, it will be very, very explosive. Like now, Vegeta's strength was obviously much weaker than his, but it took him a full 30 minutes to end the battle. And history always repeats itself in a surprising way. The final result of the battle was that Vegeta lost to Bo. Son Gohan threw a Senzu bean to each of them and prepared to fight Beerus. "Lord Beerus, please give me your guidance," Son Gohan said with a smile. "Come on," Beerus nodded, walked with his hands behind his back and stood 10 meters away from Son Gohan. Son Gohan stretched his muscles and clenched his fists. Golden red flames danced around him and then burned fiercely. Fiery red hair, flaming red eyebrows, flaming red eyes, Super Saiyan God form. Beerus was stunned for a moment. "You're going to fight me in this form." This form's overall combat capability isn't even as good as Super Saiyan 4. Sun Wukong and others were also a little surprised. It was the first time they saw Son Gohan like this. "I feel like I have become a lot smaller and not as handsome as before. No, I want to try the advanced transformation of Super Saiyan God." Son Gohan shook his head. "What do you mean?" Beerus was confused. When Goku and Vegeta heard what Gohan said, their eyes lit up. "Could it be?" They both seemed to have thought of something and looked at each other. "Aha!" Son Gohan yelled. The divine aura in his body began to boil. Violent energy exploded from the body, surging everywhere, and a powerful pressure descended from the sky. Puff, puff, tilde, the originally golden red aura began to change. After Son Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan God, his weakened muscles expanded and grew back. The fiery red hair also stood upside down and gradually turned into a natural blue. The gushing flames gradually turned into the same color as the hair. The same goes for eyebrows, and his eyes turned into the deep blue of the sea. Son Gohan seemed to be wrapped in a ball of blue flame, and the violent aura of God was gushing out in all directions. The ripples on the lake's surface spread out in circles. The pink monster that was originally floating on the water and watching also dived into the water. Beerus looked curiously at Son Gohan, who had transformed into a blue Super Saiyan, and asked, "What kind of strange transformation is this? Do Saiyans always like these fancy things?" Son Gohan clenched his fists, jumped up and down a few times, and then replied, "This is a Super Saiyan based on the Super Saiyan God." Really? Son Goku and Vegeta looked as if they understood. "After possessing the aura of God, I went through a long period of cultivation. In fact, they already had this idea in their minds. It's just that the divine aura in their bodies is not strong enough now, and they have not yet found a way to combine the Super Saiyan and the divine aura. Therefore, I haven't carried out such a transformation yet, and I don't know whether it is feasible. But now we see Son Gohan using it successfully. This confirmed what they had imagined. They just need to continue on this path. Come on, Lord Beerus." Son Gohan made a gesture ready to attack. "Come on." Beerus grinned. Boom. Son Gohan stomped his right foot hard on the ground exploded, and the whole person rushed out quickly. Whoosh. It was only a distance of 10 meters, and it took less than 1,000th of a second for him to reach Beerus. The right fist, wrapped in violent blue energy, was raised high and smashed towards the god of destruction. HMPH. Beerus snorted coldly and threw a punch as well. Boom. Two fists hit each other. The airwaves suddenly exploded. Except for Weiss, everyone watching the battle put their arms over their foreheads to block the strong wind. The fierce gusts of wind blew in my face like sharp knives, cutting my body and causing pain. Compared to the battle between Vegeta and Son Goku just now, the energy of the current battle is much more powerful, more fierce, and more intense. "Good boy, your fighting style is always so aggressive," Beerus said, quickly retracting his fist and launching his own attack. Boom, boom, boom. Energy balls were thrown out one after another. Son Gohan flew into the air, flashing and moving in the air, dodging energy balls. Beerus waved. Those energy balls kept changing their trajectories, chasing Son Gohan madly. Wanting to end the battle quickly, Son Gohan rushed out quickly and also raised his hand to throw out a few energy balls. The energy balls of both sides collided with each other, causing continuous rumbling explosions and thick smoke billowing in the sky. Beerus has already soared into the sky, approached Son Gohan, and attacked him. The two men kept attacking each other, thunder flashed in the sky, and their collision shadows were left everywhere. After a while, Beerus seized the opportunity and shot out a ball of energy, pressing it against Son Gohan's chest. Son Gohan was pressed down from the sky by the energy ball and crashed into the lake, causing huge waves. A horrific explosion roared at the bottom of the lake and thick smoke filled the air. The entire lake evaporated in an instant. The pink water monster was blown away and burned by the aftermath of the energy and fell from the sky with a smell of meat. Weiss quickly opened the protective shield to protect everyone. The water monster with the smell of meat fell on the protective shield and was bounced away. It fell dozens of meters away and lay motionless. Wow, that's quite a noise. Weiss laughed. It feels like those who watch the show don't mind making trouble. Son Gohan, with blue flames gushing out, rushed out from the center of the explosion and stood in midair. At this time, his clothes were half rotten, and there were wisps of white smoke coming out everywhere due to the burning, and he was gasping for breath. Sun Wukong smelled the aroma of meat and ran towards the water monster. The others stared at Son Gohan's figure without blinking. Son Gohan put his right hand on his chest and gasped. It consumes a lot of energy and also consumes an astonishing amount of physical strength. Coupled with Beerus's energy explosion just now, he suffered a certain degree of trauma. I'm too lazy to wait for my body to recover on its own. He simply retreated from the super blue form, took out a senzu bean and swallowed it. After taking the senzu beans, the body instantly recovered to its peak state. Son Gohan exhaled. I kept sighing that the consumption of the super blue state was too astonishing. Even if you exert your full strength, you can't hold on for long. If you hold back and pretend to be a pig tiger, you can probably hold on for a while, but that doesn't fit Son Gohan's fighting style. The moment he attacks, he has 100% energy and an explosive output of all his strength. Therefore, he could not hold on for long in the super blue state. If your fighting power is lower than his, you will naturally be killed instantly by him. But if his combat power is equal to or higher than his, then this form will not be able to support him in sustained combat, unless you keep eating senzu beans. Beerus flew over and stood opposite Son Gohan. Boy, although your transformation power is strong, your durability and skills are too poor. Yeah, Son Gohan nodded. Beerus was right. Compared to Super Saiyan God, it is true that the power of Super Saiyan blue form has become stronger, but the consumption has become very terrible. Although Red Hair's Super Saiyan power is not that strong, he is very skillful and flexible and his endurance is excellent, so take it all in perspective. Super Saiyan God prefers to see through the opponent's attack moves, dodge the opponent's attacks by flexible movement, and win by skill. Super Blue, on the other hand, takes a form of power rampage, focusing more on using strength to defeat the opponent. Of course, Son Gohan also knew that this current form consumed so much energy. In addition to the fact that he had been exerting his full strength all the time, another reason was that he had just figured out this transformation and did not yet have enough proficiency to support it. And by the way, the amplification strength of Super Blue is not 50 times that of Super Saiyan God. It can be seen that Super Blue used the Super Saiyan transformation method. But in fact, the path we took is completely different. This form still has a lot of room for development, at least it is not perfect yet. But overall, even the perfectly developed Super Blue, in every aspect it is still far inferior to the limit-breaking form of Super Saiyan 4. Beerus chuckled, have you had enough fun? Come, let me try the transformation you used to fight Wise. Hee okay. Son Gohan laughed, and without further ado he instantly turned into Super Saiyan 4, and it quickly evolved and covered, achieving a breakthrough in boundaries. Her body was burning with a rose-red aura, her whole body was gleaming with fluorescent dots, and her messy orange-red hair was draped over her shoulders. This look is so handsome. And this time, Beerus chose to take the initiative. Purple flames burned around him and the air continued to distort. He broke through the air in an instant, swept his foot across the air and kicked towards Son Gohan. Son Gohan raised his hand to block Beerus' leg attack and officially started the first round of battle after his transformation. After his kick was blocked, Beerus somersaulted into the air, raised his hand, and a purple energy ball flew out and hit Son Gohan. Son Gohan dodged sideways and the energy ball missed the target and hit the surface of Planet Destroyer. The ground cracked open with a crackling sound, a huge mushroom cloud rose into the sky, and a huge deep pit appeared again. Fortunately, Destroyer is strong enough. If it were the Earth, it is hard to imagine how serious the damage would be. Son Gohan dodged the energy ball and launched a counterattack. He continuously threw energy balls with both hands and hit Beerus. In just a moment, dense energy balls filled the entire sky. With a loud roar, all the energy balls exploded at the same time. Beerus was submerged in it. The dazzling light obscured most of the sky of Planet Destroyer and the sound continued for a long time. But Beerus quickly rushed out of the thick smoke and pounced on Son Gohan with black smoke all over his body. The two of them each condensed a ball of energy and shot it towards each other. The purple and rose-red energy balls collided with each other, causing another violent explosion. The sky was crumbling. Both sides flashed through the thick smoke and punched each other in the face. Both of them were blown away by each other's energy, rolled several times in the air, and then pounced on each other again, wrestling with each other. Two energies of different colors kept colliding and chasing each other in the air, erupting with terrifying energy aftermath. Ha, good boy, you are really amazing. It won't be long before you can surpass some of those useless destroyers. Beerus fought and retreated, laughing. No one knows who the useless god of destruction is that he is referring to, but it is already indirectly proof of how powerful Son Gohan is at that time. After fighting for half an hour, Beerus knocked Son Gohan away with one punch. Son Gohan rolled in the air, stomped his right foot hard in the air, directly cracking the void, and pounced on Beerus again. A fierce straight punch hit Beerus, causing a terrible explosion. Beerus reached out and grabbed Son Gohan's fist, then said, "Okay, I don't want to fight today, let's fight tomorrow." He seemed to be tired of playing. Okay then. Son Gohan withdrew his hand and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Even after fighting for more than half an hour, he was still full of breath and his physical strength was still at its peak. The body's inherent super recovery ability can completely cover the consumption of this form. Son Gohan seems like a perpetual motion machine, able to fight without stopping. This is the most terrifying thing about him. Moreover, Beerus also discovered that the divine aura in Son Gohan's body was stronger than before the battle, and even contained a little bit of his destructive energy. This kid can grow in battle. After several battles with Son Gohan, Beerus was certain of this. The two returned to the ground. The battle was over, and several spectators went about their business. Wise began to repair the pitted destroyer. Vegeta crossed his arms across his chest and leaned against a tree, acting grim. Son Goku waved his hand and called Trunks over. The two men squatted beside the corpse of the water monster, trying to figure out whether it could be eaten. Piccolo sat on a rock without moving, meditating with his eyes closed and deducing the course of the battle. "What are you doing?" Son Gohan came to Trunks and Son Goku. Sun Wukong pointed at the water monster that was as big as an elephant and smelled of meat and said, "We are studying whether this thing can be eaten." It looks like a pink mollusk. I feel a little disgusted. No way, it smells so good." Sun Wukong fanned the air with his hands. "Lord Beerus, come here for a moment." Son Gohan shouted to Beerus. Gohan, do you want to ask Lord Beerus to come and test the poison? Are you too brave?" Son Goku was shocked. Trunks seemed to have been led astray by Son Goku and was also shocked. Son Gohan didn't bother to pay attention to these two guys with wild imaginations and said to Beerus, who was walking over, "Lord Beerus, what kind of animal is this? Is its meat poisonous?" "How should I know? No, this is a mutated electric eel." Beerus said uncertainly, "It is indeed an electric eel." Weiss, who was doing the finishing work, also came over. "Can electric eels be eaten?" Trunks asked curiously. "Can electric eels be eaten?" When Kakarot heard this, he was already ripping open the giant water monster. "Anyway, Mr. Electric Eel passed away peacefully. Its meat went into the stomachs of everyone present, providing sufficient nutrients for everyone and making the final contribution. It can be called love without boundaries." In the following days, the 5 people continued to practice diligently on the planet of destruction. Trunks Super Saiyan 4 is becoming more mature and perfect, and began to learn the breath of God. Son Goku and Vegeta began to explore the advanced transformation of Super Saiyan God Super Blue form. Because of Piccolo's blood relationship, his training system is a little different from that of the Saiyans. Therefore, among these people, his strength improvement is the slowest, but Piccolo never slacked off for a single day. Instead, he was the one who practiced the most diligently. Perhaps only Son Gohan understands. Piccolo is now accumulating strength for a breakthrough. Once his potential is developed by the dragon, his strength will immediately have a qualitative leap. But then again, why not let the dragon unleash everyone's potential? Wouldn't everyone's strength be improved in this way? Stupid. It was really stupid before. It must be put on the agenda. I am hereby inviting bids to unleash the potential of all Z warriors at once. Another month passed like this. Son Goku and Vegeta finally successfully developed the Super Blue state one after another, unlocked a new transformation. On this day, Weiss was explaining some new knowledge about the breath of God to everyone. Suddenly, a white light descended from the sky. Suddenly, 2 more people appeared on the ground. Everyone looked over curiously. The guy who's 70% similar to Beerus plus version laughed. "Hahaha, Beerus, it's been a while since we last met. How come your place has become like a vegetable market? What are so many people doing here?" Hearing this annoying voice, Beerus stood up suddenly and walked over aggressively, looking like he was ready to fight. "Damn it, Zaimpa, what are you doing here? And call me brother, don't call me by my name." The 2 guys put their heads together and grinned. "Nonsense, I am the older brother and you are the younger brother." "Asshole, do you know what you are talking about?" "That's right, the person who came was none other than the god of destruction of the 6th universe, Zaimpa. Accompanying him is naturally the angel of the 6th universe, Bardos. Bardos looks somewhat similar to Weiss, with long silver-white hair. Her long hair was tied into a high ponytail and fell naturally behind her, making her look very capable. She was wearing a match-colored robe and stockings with a red belt around her waist. She was slender and had white high heels with black soles, and her figure was slim and graceful. Well, in short, she is an extremely beautiful woman. Like Weiss, she also always had a smile on her face, but the cold temperament that she exudes inadvertently seems to keep people at distance. Beerus and Champa were unwilling to give in to each other. Every time they meet, they always quarrel with each other. They either fight over who is the older brother or compare who sleeps more and whose food tastes better. In short, there are endless quarrels. The two angels couldn't do anything about it. Who made them have to deal with a pair of twin brothers who disliked each other, but it was still fun to watch them occasionally. Leaving the two gods of destruction arguing, Bardos walked towards Weiss and said with a grin, "Weiss, are these your new disciples?" "Yes, sister." Weiss smiled and nodded, very gentlemanly. "Sister, did you hear that? Vegeta?" Weiss called that woman sister. Sun Wukong raised his hand and poked Vegeta, whispering, "Nonsense, don't touch me." Vegeta slapped his pig hand away. Their conversation was heard by Bardos. Bardos looked over, covered his mouth, and chuckled, "Haha, because I am Weiss's biological sister." Hoo-hoo. Well, another ho-ho monster. Son Gohan couldn't help but complain in his heart. Wise took over Bardos' words and said with a smile, "Let me introduce you. This is my sister Bardos. She is the angel of the sixth universe. As for that person over there, he is the god of destruction of the sixth universe, Lord Champa. At the same time, he is also the twin brother of Lord Beerus." "What, that fat, chubby guy is also the god of destruction?" Vegeta was surprised. "Phew, I almost called the fat guy out. That was a close call." "Ah, twin brothers, no wonder they look so alike." Sun Wukong continued, "So who is more powerful, him or Beerus? Ha ha ha. Don't ask such rude questions. Don't you know from the body shape?" Bardos covered his mouth and chuckled, looking a little sinister. "Oh, then I understand. Lord Xianpa is bigger in size, so he should be stronger." Sun Wukong hit the palm of his left hand with his right fist. "The scheming frog keeps touching your belly. Everyone." "Okay, that sounds reasonable," but Xianpa refused to do it. He glared at Bardos, his hands on his hips, and was very angry. "Damn it, Bardos, don't talk so much." "Oh, ha ha ha, that was so rude just now." Bardos smiled sideways but seemed not to take Xianpa's words to heart at all. HMPH, two rude guys. Xianpa looked at Son Goku and Vegeta. These two guys actually dared to talk about the god of destruction? Cough cough, Son Gohan coughed, interrupting someone who was trying to continue attracting hatred. "Master Xianpa, Senior Bardos, how about you try this? It's sweet and tastes really good." Son Gohan said as he pulled out two rainbow lollipops. The method used was very similar to that of a human trafficker who was about to kidnap a child. "Oh, what is this? It looks very beautiful." Bardos leaned his head closer. Son Gohan handed one to her. Let me take a look. When talking about food, Xianpa was no longer sleepy, no. He was no longer angry. He reached out and snatched another rainbow lollipop from Son Gohan's hand. He put it into his mouth without even opening the packaging. Then, "Pa, it has no taste at all, boy, you lied to me." Xianpa bared his teeth, veins bulging on his forehead. Those who insult delicious food are unforgivable. Son Gohan, wow, Lord Xianpa is so stupid. He obviously didn't tear off the plastic packaging. Bardos said with a smile. He demonstrated to Xianpa, tearing off the transparent outer packaging of the rainbow lollipop before putting it into his rosy little mouth. "Oh, it's delicious indeed." Bardos showed a surprised expression. This sweetness reminded her of her lost youth. "Oh, really? I'm so stupid." Xianpa didn't feel embarrassed. He tore open the package again and started to eat. "Wow, it's so sweet. I've never eaten anything so delicious." "Where did you get that, kid?" "It's pretty good." In just a second, Champa's favorability towards Son Gohan increased greatly. Foodies are always the easiest creatures to conquer in this world. Son Gohan laughed and said, "This is just a snack that can be found everywhere on our Earth. It's not worth mentioning. There are thousands of better tasting foods on our planet." Proud JPG Earth, Bardos, there should be an Earth in our sixth universe, right? "Let's search it quickly." Xianpa showed an anxious expression. "Okay, right away." Bardos licked the lollipop and waved the scepter in his hand. The black magic ball on top of the scepter began to vibrate. It's hard to imagine what she usually does with this scepter. "Ah, I found it, Lord Xianpa. We also have Earth in the sixth universe, but just what?" Xianpa was anxious. "It seems that all humans became extinct because of a stupid battle." Bardos looked regretful. "Ah, what did you say, extinct?" Xianpa screamed in despair. The hope that had just appeared was ruthlessly shattered. "Why is this world so cruel? No, not good." Xianpa thought of a more serious problem. "Every time we meet Beerus, we have to have a food duel. What will he bring this time? His head. It's a sure loss." The delicious and wonderful eggs cooked by the dong-dong bird that he had prepared returned into crumbs in seconds by the rainbow lollipop in his hand. "This is nothing more than a ball. Damn it." Looking at the two angels and the god of destruction licking lollipops like children, Son Gohan felt that this world was too fucking absurd. Poor aliens, they have never eaten anything delicious. At this time, Beerus came over with his hands on his hips, raised his chin, looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle and said proudly, What do you think, Ziampa? Are you still going to compete this time? Are you ready to admit defeat? Ha 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 ha. He has it all planned out. Seeing this annoying expression, Ziampa wanted to beat him up. Yes, the rainbow bars you can find everywhere are so delicious. I can't imagine what more explosive food the people on Earth can come up with. Lost. How to do? Should we compare now or not? This is a very serious question. Losing is a loss of face. It would be even more embarrassing to abstain directly. Why is the Earth in the sixth universe gone? The elephant handkerchief was almost torn apart, but a brilliant idea suddenly occurred to him. Hey, Beerus, we've been competing in food for so many years, it's no longer fresh. How about we compete in something else this time? Ziampa put his hands on his hips and applauded his own wit. Oh, what? Beerus looked at him sideways, as if to say, I'm not afraid of anything you compete in. Champa shouted, let's decide the winner this time, Beerus. What do you mean by decide the winner? So what exactly do you want to compete for? Beerus was speechless. He hated people who only spoke halfway. Ziampa bit his lollipop and said domineeringly, the winner will be decided by fighting. If I win this time, we can exchange our Earths. How about that? For the sake of delicious food, I am determined to conquer the Earth. Ha, do you want to fight me? Beerus laughed and looked at Champa like a fool. This is my strength, Ziampa. How dare you? Ziampa continued, no, we can select strong humans from each other's universes to compete. How about a 5-person team battle? Let them fight one-on-one and the one who defeats the other in the end wins. How about that? Heh. Beerus grinned and raised his finger to point at Son Gohan. Ziampa, I suggest you fight this guy first and then make this decision, hee. Him, you want me to fight him? Beerus, I'm the god of destruction and you want me to fight a human? I advise you not to insult me like this, asshole. Ziampa licked the lollipop again aggressively. Tesk, you may not be able to beat him. Beerus sneered. What did you say? Damn it, come on. Champa was almost furious at talking to Beerus. Ziampa stared at Son Gohan and said, boy, let me see what you can do. Bardos's eyes were also fixed on Son Gohan. It was the first time for them to see Beerus admire a human so much. There's definitely something wrong with this. Oh no, duel, there was a good show to watch. The crowd instantly became excited and stood up, ready to watch the show. Where's the food? Where's my snack? Make arrangements. Son Gohan didn't expect that the fire would burn himself all of a sudden. But it doesn't matter. He also wanted to see the power of the god of destruction, Ziampa. If you want to fight, then it's better to obey than to be respectful. Lord Ziampa, please give me your guidance. Son Gohan said, HMPH, I will show mercy later. Ziampa said, then took off into the air. Son Gohan also flew after him. The two stood in midair, their eyes locked on each other. The opponent is the god of destruction, so his strength must be extraordinary. So there is no reason for Son Gohan to let the game go. If you want to fight, then fight with all your might. With a loud shout, Son Gohan's aura surged and he instantly transformed into the form of Super Saiyan 4. The next step is to superimpose the aura of God and achieve a breakthrough in boundaries. There were lightning and thunder in the sky and strong winds were howling. Son Gohan entered combat mode, the rose-red aura around him burning the surrounding space and causing it to distort continuously. God, the breath of God. Ziampa widened his eyes, his face full of disbelief. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. What will happen when humans possess the breath of God? Is that still human? Beerus on the ground laughed. Bardos stared at the rose-red figure in the sky and laughed. Wow, this is interesting, Master Ziampa. Please be careful. Crack! Son Gohan stomped his right foot hard into the air. The space instantly collapsed and he rushed towards Ziampa quickly. In just 0.0000001 seconds, Son Gohan had already arrived in front of Champa. The fist wrapped in raging anger made an explosive sound, and before Ziampa could react, it had already hit him hard in the face. Boom! A huge collision sounded. Ziampa was knocked flying by the heavy punch and fell to the ground. The overwhelming force seemed to smash through Planet Destroyer. Thick smoke billowed into the sky and a bottomless hole appeared. Oh, the expression on Bardos's face became more and more interesting. In just a moment, a purple energy ball rushed out of the cave and hit Son Gohan high in the sky. In Son Gohan's right hand, a more than 2-meter-long energy sword instantly appeared and slashed fiercely at the purple energy ball that was coming towards him. Puff! The purple energy ball was cut into two by the air sword, passing by Son Gohan on both sides and then exploded behind him, and the sky changed drastically. Immediately afterwards, Ziampa rushed out from the huge hole. At this moment, there was a lot of dust on his God of Destruction costume, and there was even a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. A little bit embarrassed. Boy, you are very capable. Ziampa raised his hand to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth and never dared to underestimate Son Gohan again. He admitted that he had underestimated Son Gohan just now. He was careless and was hit by Son Gohan, which made him lose face. It's really unforgivable. Son Gohan is more powerful than he imagined. Ziampa's expression became serious and he became serious. He is a god of destruction. Today's match is not just a fight between him alone, but also a fight for the face of the god of destruction. He clenched his fists, purple aura enveloped his body, and he also entered a combat state. The two figures flashed and pounced on each other at the same time. The same move was used. The two fists suddenly collided with each other. Boom. The air around exploded, the space kept shaking, and circles of air waves spread out in all directions. Humph! Xiangpa snorted coldly and moved his other hand to hit Son Gohan, but he's not the only one with two hands. Now Son Gohan is no longer one-armed, he is a healthy person. So the four fists kept hitting each other and the sound of explosions continued in the sky. Fortunately, this is the realm of destruction of gods, which is extremely solid. If the final battle took place in the universe, it could be described as a battle that went to the edge of the universe, with even the avenues being wiped out. Well, that's not right. The Dragon Ball world seems to be lacking in quality. Aha, the two energy balls collided with each other, causing a violent explosion. The figures of Son Gohan and Champa flew out from the center of the explosion. They were all blown away. Cough, cough, Son Gohan coughed up a mouthful of blood, but the fighting spirit in his eyes became even more fierce. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with the thumb of his right hand, laughed loudly, and instantly appeared behind Xiangpa. A huge energy wave condensed in both hands and pressed towards Xiangpa. Xiangpa instantly felt something was wrong and subconsciously sensed a strong sense of danger coming from behind him. Without time to think, he rushed forward quickly, and then a ball of energy was thrown behind him. Son Gohan's 10 times Kamehameha wave has already taken shape and is suddenly shot out. A thick red flame roared out, swallowed up Xiangpa's energy ball, and chased Xiangpa, wanting to continue swallowing him. What kind of move is this? Xiangpa was shocked. Damn it, don't underestimate me. Xiangpa was also angry. He is the god of destroyer of the sixth universe. Doesn't he have any dignity? Think of this. Xiangpa turned around and slapped out a wave of energy with both hands to meet Son Gohan's 10 times Kamehameha wave. Dragon Ball's #1 classic battle scene appears. Battle. Boom. Two Kigong waves of different colors, one red and one purple, collided with each other. Energy shot out everywhere, strong winds blew back, and the entire destroyer planet began to vibrate slightly. Debris was flying everywhere. What a powerful human being. Bardos on the ground couldn't help but admire. She had never seen such a powerful human being before. This was the first time. Others were also surprised. They found that Gohan's fighting performance with Champa was much more ferocious than when he fought Beerus. I don't know why, but I always feel that this situation is a battle between equals. It looks more exciting and more passionate. The two energies were deadlocked in the air. Both parties shouted loudly and veins bulged on their arms and foreheads. Boom. Under the violent collision, both energies exploded. High in the sky, the space barrier cracked. A chilly wind blew out from inside. The energy aftermath of the explosion was raging, the wind was howling, and Destroyer had never experienced such a disaster. Son Gohan and Xiangpa both spat out blood and fell from the air. This time, Bardos took action. She raised her hand holding the scepter and waved it lightly, and the crack in the sky closed instantly. The energy aftermath that was raging everywhere quickly dissipated. Planet Destroyer returned to its former tranquility. On the ground, Xiangpa stood with a pale face and trembling legs. Son Gohan fell into the grass, face up, motionless. Hey, Whis, go check on that guy, don't let him die. Xiangpa sat down on a rock and said to Whis. At this moment, Son Gohan climbed up tremblingly. Seeing Son Gohan get up, Xiangpa was stunned for a moment. Gohan-kun, let me help you. Trunks ran over and tried to support Son Gohan, who had returned to normal. Son Gohan waved his hand. No, I'm fine. Just kidding. His super recovery and regeneration abilities are not fake. Although it has dropped to the T0 version, it only takes a few seconds to recover. Just a few breaths, the trembling figure became upright and strong. Son Gohan walked towards Champa, and when he arrived in front of Champa, his body had recovered to its peak. Thank you, Lord Xiangpa, for showing mercy. Xiangpa looked at Son Gohan as if he were a monster. In fact, his energy is already fully utilized except for the destructive energy. But since the destruction is useless, there should be no problem in saying that I should show mercy. It's just that the fact that you act like nothing happened makes me feel embarrassed. I am still sitting on the rock, gasping for breath. Hey Tilda, you are also very good. After hesitating for a few seconds, Xiangpa squeezed out these words. At this time, Beerus came over laughing. How's it going, Xiangpa? I think you should eat less and lose some weight. Don't you know that your body has become sluggish? HMPH, annoying guy. Champa turned his head away and didn't look at Beerus. Haha, Lord Xiangpa is angry again. Bardos covered his mouth and chuckled, then raised his hand and cast a recovery halo on Xiangpa. Surrounded by the halo, Xiangpa's body recovered quickly. Beerus chuckled and said, Champa, back to the topic just now. Are you still going to hold that martial arts tournament now? A tourney. What the hell am I doing? Where in the sixth universe can we find such a perverted guy? Champa glared at Beerus, wondering, just don't do it. Can't you just stop doing it, bastard? Get out of here now. Oh my, I'm so anxious and angry. Beerus put his left hand on his waist, pointed at Xiangpa with his right hand and laughed. Ichimpage, Xiangpa's grinning expression. Whis quickly came out to smooth things over. Lord Xiangpa, Sister Bardos, would you like to try this seafood noodles? As he spoke, 2 buckets of noodles appeared in his hands. What noodles? Xiangpa turned his head suddenly and stood up involuntarily. Seafood noodles, Weiss said. Was it also brought from the earth? Xianpa swallowed his saliva and the anger in his heart had disappeared. Yes, Lord Xianpa. Weiss nodded with a smile. Wow, I want to try it. Bardos smiled brightly. I want one too, I want one too. Xianpa ran towards Weiss. His troubles came and went quickly. In his world, troubles are the least respected things. Xianpa grabbed the bucket of noodles and wanted to start eating them right away, but he didn't know how to start. With the precedent of the rainbow lollipop, he became more cautious. Gohan, come here. Wise waved to Son Gohan. Coming. Son Gohan walked over. Come and teach Lord Xianpa and sister how to eat this bucket of noodles. Weiss said, oh, okay. Son Gohan nodded. Was Wise trying to use this method to ease the relationship between him and Champa? Son Gohan guessed in his heart, after all, they had just had a fight. Come, Lord Xianpa, I'll teach you how to make this. Son Gohan said, taking the seafood noodles from Xianpa's hand. Xianpa's eyes had been fixed on the bucket when it was suddenly taken away by Son Gohan. He stretched out his hand, trying weakly to grab something. You have to do this. First tear off the outer film, then open the upper package and pour the seasoning packet in. Xianpa twitched his nose wildly, sniffing the smell. Well, it smells good. Bardos next to him followed Gohan's instructions and opened his own bucket of noodles. Then pour in the appropriate amount of hot water, cover the lid, insert the fork here, wait for about 5 minutes and you can eat it. How long is 5 minutes? Champa looked at Son Gohan, then at Bardos. A very short time. Son Gohan didn't know how to describe it. Oh, Xianpa hesitated for a moment, took out a box and handed it to Son Gohan, looking very reluctant. This is for you. What is this? Son Gohan took the box in surprise. Champa gave him a gift. Unbelievable, Xianpa said. This is a dish made from the eggs of the dongdong bird. It is delicious. You can try it. It turns out he wanted to share his delicious food. I thought it was something amazing. Oh, let me see. Son Gohan opened the box and saw 3 strangely shaped eggs lying quietly inside. Well, they should be eggs. The cylinder, once peeled, looks like a milky white pastry. This is Champa's finale delicacy. He wants to use it to defeat Beerus's dongdong bird egg. Good boy, I have learned a lot. Son Gohan picked up one of them and took a bite, and Xianpa swallowed his saliva. Just plain boiled eggs. After taking a bite, Son Gohan gave this comment. Let's have one for each person. It will taste better if you put it in the bucket of noodles. Son Gohan said, his eyes shining. Good man, a very good man. As expected, Son Gohan gave each person an egg and put it into the buckets of noodles of Bardos and Champa. 5 minutes later, the seafood noodles were ready. It was the first time for us to taste this fresh and delicious Xianpa and Bardos. We drank up all the soup and still felt like we wanted more. Son Gohan felt so sorry for them when he saw them. Before they returned to Universe 5, Son Gohan gave each of them buckets of crab roe noodles, winning the strong favor of Bardos and Champa. The two of them have been inviting Son Gohan to play in the 6th universe. Definitely next time, definitely next time. Son Gohan smiled and waved goodbye repeatedly. Bardos and Champa turned into a beam of light and soared into the sky, returning to the 6th universe. Soon, another half a year passed. During this time, Weiss explained to them the relevant knowledge about the universe. There are a total of 12 universes in this world, and the space-time they are in is the 7th universe. Each universe is equipped with the god of destruction, angels, king gods, etc. In other words, there are a total of 12 gods of destruction, 12 angels, and 12 Kais in this world. Retired and apprentice ones are not included. The highest authority that governs the 12 universes is the Temple of the Omni-King, and the highest leader of the Temple of the Omni-King is the Omni-King. Among these 12 universes, the overall strength of Universe 7 is very unsatisfactory, ranking last. Such a grand worldview output directly shocked Son Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Piccolo. Son Gohan didn't mind at all because he already knew this information, so he wasn't surprised. But what he was thinking about was something more important. The Conference of Strength. The Omni-King has long complained that there are too many universes and that it is difficult to manage them, so he wants to clear out some of them. Therefore, the Congress of Power came into being. Universes that don't meet the average need to compete for a chance. The defeated universe will be wiped out. The 7th universe, which ranks last, obviously cannot avoid participating in the competition. But now we still don't know when the action figure-like Omni-King will suddenly have a brain cramp and come up with the idea of competition. But in any case, prepare in advance. You never know when the King of All will suddenly go crazy. I don't know when the Omni-King figure will go crazy. But the onset of craziness is inevitable, so there's nothing wrong with preparing in advance. So these 10 contestants, Son Gohan looked around. Well, here are 5, so there are still 5 players missing. Not a big problem. This time, the 7th universe must take first place. For sure, the 5 rushed back to Earth. The reason why the word hurry is used is because Bulma is about to give birth to a baby at full term, as a husband. Vegeta naturally has to come back. Trunks is definitely indispensable. He wants to see his mother and also see whether it is a younger brother or a younger sister. As best friends, Son Goku and Son Gohan would of course not miss such an important moment. That leaves Piccolo alone. When Piccolo saw that the four of them had returned to Earth, he was left alone to face Beerus and Wise, which was too stressful, so he came back with them. The day after they returned, Bulma gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Looking at Vegeta's anxious and flustered appearance, Son Gohan wanted to laugh. I really can't imagine that the great devil Vegeta, who once clamored to destroy the Earth, has now become a wife-loving man. Ha ha ha, Gohan bro, it's a sister, it's a sister. Trunks also went crazy and lifted Son Gohan up. Son Gohan's face turned black. Damn it, why are you lifting me up? Go lift the dancer over there. Sun Wukong patted Vegeta's shoulder kindly. Hey Vegeta, have you decided on a name for your child? Vegeta slapped his pig hand away and fell into deep thought. Yes, what should I call it? Vegeta, how about calling it Rice Ball? Sun Wukong offered a suggestion. Vegeta suddenly fell silent, then got angry and kicked him hard. Get out of here. Hey, I dodged and couldn't kick him. Isn't this name good? Vegeta, I think it sounds pretty good. Sun Wukong continued to promote the name he thought of. Vegeta was furious and suddenly turned into Super Saiyan Blue, ready to fight. Trunks quickly grabbed Vegeta. Dad, calm down. Today is not a good day for duel. HMH Kakarot, I'm going to let you go this time today. Vegeta returned to normal and glared at Son Goku. Son Wukong, what's the matter? Can't I give your child a name? Vegeta is so domineering. Dad, how about calling us Bra? Trunks suggested. Bula Bula. Vegeta's eyes lit up. It sounded good, but it was a pity that it was not a Saiyan name. But is that the name you wanted, Trunks? Vegeta asked. Trunks pointed at Son Gohan and said, that was the advice Gohanji gave me. Gohan, then let's use this name, Bra. Vegeta said. Son Goku looked at Son Gohan and scratched the back of his head in annoyance. Gohan, why did he accept the name you gave him so immediately? But he wanted to beat me up for the name I gave him. Vegeta is so hateful. That's because she's someone's precious daughter. How could she not be angry if you gave her a weird name like Rice Ball? What's wrong? You're having a hard time with rice, right? And the name Bra seemed to have been given by Vegeta or Bulma. I was just lending a helping hand and giving him a hint, so he agreed. Son Gohan thought this in his mind, but said, maybe it's because Bra sounds more like a girl's name. Is that so? Son Wukong was a little puzzled. I think the name Rice Ball is quite nice. Why not let Kiki have another baby? The girl's name was decided upon Beulah. Vegeta came over. Thank you, Gohan. Just as Son Gohan opened his mouth to reply, he turned and left. It feels very uncomfortable to have your skill release suddenly interrupted. Trunks said awkwardly, haha, my dad is like this. I understand. This is what tsundere people are like. Son Gohan patted Trunks' shoulder. Before he had gone far, Vegeta froze when he heard Son Gohan's words. Day 3. To celebrate the birth of Bra, the Trunks family held a very grand celebration banquet, invited everyone I knew to join in the fun. Beerus and Wise were of course not absent, and they could be found wherever there was delicious food. The party lasted all day and all night. A few days later, Piccolo collected 7 Dragon Balls and summoned the dragon in the Temple of Heaven to make a wish. The sky was covered with dark clouds and it was pitch dark. A huge dragon hovered in the sky and poked its head down from the clouds. The light bursting out from the Dragon Ball illuminated the surrounding area so that it was no longer pitch dark and nothing could be seen. Looking at the familiar Son Gohan and Piccolo below, I judged that it was Piccolo who was going to make a wish this time. Shenlong said nervously, P-Pic-sama, is it you who needs to make a wish? Because of the old god, Piccolo can be considered its former master to some extent, so even the opening line is different. Piccolo looked up and asked, Shenlong, can you, like the former Namekian elder, bring out the potential in my body as much as possible? Of course, because I am an upgraded dragon. So is this the first wish? Said the dragon. Hearing Shenlong's words, Piccolo was in a good mood and said with a smile, haha, yes, then please start. Okay, it's a small matter. The dragon spoke in a muffled voice, and 2 eyes that were bigger than lanterns burst into red light. Waited quietly for a few seconds. A powerful aura suddenly burst out from Piccolo's body. The golden light enveloped him and illuminated everything around him. Piccolo's energy has been greatly enhanced. Is it only to this extent? However, when Son Gohan sensed Piccolo's aura, he felt a little disappointed. Piccolo's current aura is probably at the stage of becoming a Super Saiyan 3 when Son Goku first met Beerus. In other words, Piccolo followed him into the Spirit Time Chamber for 2 years, broke through the original bottleneck, and then went to the planet of destruction to train together for 9 months. Now, with the help of the power of Shenlong, he has unleashed his potential and reached the peak level of Son Goku's Super Saiyan 3. Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive when you think about it this way. Not to mention that this is Piccolo's normal combat power, without any transformation added. After all, before entering the Spirit Time Chamber, Piccolo's strength was not as good as when he killed the androids. It's incredible that we have grown so much in 3 years. Maybe it's because my vision and standards have become higher that I feel it's not that good, right? Son Gohan sighed in his heart. For example, at this moment, Piccolo himself became excited. Is this my potential? My strength can actually reach this level. Piccolo said in surprise as he felt the energy in his body. In his opinion, the anger is now very strong. The dragon said in a muffled voice, somewhat flatteringly, Master Piccolo, I have an additional gift for you. Gift? What is that? Piccolo asked curiously. Keep it secret for now, you will know it later. Shenlong said. Good. Piccolo was in a good mood. The first wish has been fulfilled, so I have 2 more wishes. Please tell me. The dragon continued. Gohan, come here. Piccolo looked at Son Gohan beside him. Looking at the dragon in the sky, still waiting for wishes, Son Gohan turned his head to look at Mr. Popo, who was standing quietly under the tree and watching. He said, Mr. Bobo, I want to ask you a question. Bobo was stunned for a moment and said, what's the problem? Son Gohan's expression was serious. He said, I once heard a story that said that before the old god and Piccolo separated, he made a set of black star Dragon Balls. That set of Dragon Balls is now hidden deep in the temple. Mr. Bobo, is that true? Mr. Popo had a few question marks on his head, and then he shook his head like a rattle. No, Gohan, where did you hear this legend? When the old god made the Dragon Balls for the first time, he had already separated from Piccolo. He had never made Dragon Balls before. I just heard it from a passerby by chance. Is it really just a story? Son Gohan looked at Piccolo again with the same questioning expression. It has indeed never been produced. Piccolo also shook his head. Now Piccolo has already merged with the old god, so he must have obtained all of the old god's memories. Since he shook his head, it seems that the so-called Black Star Dragon Ball does not exist. Good, steady. Piccolo said humans can make up all kinds of legends. This is normal and not surprising. Yeah, that's true. Son Gohan nodded. The dragon in the sky said again, haven't you thought of a wish yet? I have 2 more wishes. Son Gohan looked up and asked, Shenlong, can you give me the ability to predict the dangers of the future? The ability to predict future dangers, can you be more specific? Shenlong asked. In other words, can I predict in advance dangerous things that are about to happen in the future, such as endangering the safety of the earth, endangering my life or the lives of my relatives and friends? Shenlong thought for 2 seconds, then said, it's a very dangerous thing to touch upon the issue of time. Well, I will do my best to expose you to some knowledge in this area. This is a bit like the prophetic power of the great elder of Namek, except that you can only foresee serious dangers, and the prediction period is only within a week. Is that okay? No problem, that's already very good. Please fulfill my wish. Son Gohan said happily. The dragon buzzed in response. Okay, it's a piece of cake. Then its eyes glowed red, and Son Gohan felt a mysterious power suddenly rising in his body. This is prophetic power, the power of prophecy that can foresee future dangers. After each use, you can predict whether major dangerous events will occur in the next week. It just consumes some mental energy. But it's not a big problem. Using it once every few days will not have any impact. Okay, this wish has been fulfilled. Please tell me another wish. Shenlong continued. Let's fulfill these 2 wishes for now, said Son Gohan. Okay, I understand. By then. The dragon's voice resounded through the sky and his body quickly dissipated. Then 7 Dragon Balls shot up into the sky and turned into 7 streams of light flying in all directions. As the Dragon Ball disappeared, the sky cleared up. If you have only made 2 wishes to the Dragon Balls, you only need to wait for 8 months for them to regain their luster and can collect them to make wishes again. Piccolo looked at Son Gohan and said, Gohan, you are very thoughtful. You made a wish like that. Son Gohan laughed and said, haha, after all, our Earth has been plagued by disasters, and every time we are put in a passive position. With the ability to predict danger, we can feel more at ease. Well, yes, but we never thought of making wishes like this before. Piccolo nodded. Son Gohan didn't want to continue this topic, so he asked, Uncle Piccolo, how is it? How does it feel after this potential is triggered? Haha, I'm very satisfied. I just think it should be able to become even stronger. I don't know what the additional gift that Shenlong mentioned at the end means. Piccolo pinched his chin and thought, but no matter how smart he was, he couldn't guess what the dragon was thinking. This guy Shenlong is also keeping up with the times and playing with mystery. Son Gohan laughed. Piccolo doesn't know, but he knows. The so-called additional gift of the dragon is actually a new transformation, a brand new transformation. It can make Piccolo's combat power have a qualitative leap. Isn't it easy to figure out what the gift is? Uncle Piccolo, follow me. Son Gohan put his arm around Piccolo's shoulders and led him towards the spirit time chamber. Where are you going? Of course it's training. Son Gohan said with a smile. He actually wanted to see Piccolo's new form as well. How strong will it be? Looking at Son Gohan, Piccolo said, Gohan, you have become a training maniac now. You are more diligent in training than Goku. When you were young, everyone said that you didn't like to practice. Son Gohan was silent for a moment and said, because a lot of things have happened and there are a lot of people I want to protect. Thinking of that dark time when Gohan carried the last light of the world alone and bravely moved forward, Piccolo's heart couldn't help but tremble. Yes, maybe Gohan doesn't like training, but he had no choice. If he hadn't practiced hard, he couldn't imagine what the world would be like now. At least he, Wukong, and the others are still living in the underworld and cannot return to the human world. And the earth is also covered with thick smoke. While Piccolo was distracted, he had already been taken into the spiritual time chamber by Son Gohan. Inside the spirit time house, Son Gohan and Piccolo were fighting loudly. But at this time, Piccolo was retreating repeatedly, looking like he was in a tough battle. In fact, he was indeed in a tough battle. Son Gohan's fighting power at this moment is still stronger than his even without any transformation. Uncle Piccolo, limit, where's your limit? Where's your strength? Son Gohan punched Piccolo in the face, and Piccolo was hit hard, rolling twice and flying out, falling in an open space in the distance. Piccolo wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stood up again. Limit, have I reached my limit? Is that all? Piccolo looked at his hands and fell into self-doubt, but Son Gohan didn't give him time to think as a magic flash came towards him. No, this is not my limit. Piccolo's eyes flashed and he shouted loudly. He suddenly stretched out his two hands to catch Son Gohan's energy wave, and the aura on his body began to surge. Squeak, puff, puff, tilde, electric sparks swirled all over his body, and the aura around him began to become turbid, with the surging air waves almost seeming to materialize. Here it comes, this is the feeling of oppression. Son Gohan's eyes lit up and he increased the energy output in his hands. Piccolo was forced to retreat again and again, but the energy in his body continued to grow stronger. Suddenly, a flash of light appeared. A strange circular halo appeared behind Piccolo. The halo burst into white light. His body also began to swell. Piccolo, who was already over 2 meters tall, became even taller and stronger, with bulging muscles all over his body, a true devilish muscle man. The lines on his face became tougher, and he looked ferocious, with the two tentacles on top of his head standing up. Not only that, his skin also changed its original color. It changed from green to orange. Orange Bic. Super name, hahaha, Uncle Piccolo, you have such a powerful aura. Looking at Piccolo in front of him with his aura rising into the sky, Son Gohan couldn't help but laugh happily. Piccolo pushed magic flashback. Son Gohan leaped up and dodged, and the energy wave exploded behind him, creating a gust of wind. Piccolo looked at the changes in himself in disbelief. Uncle Piccolo, did you feel it? This is probably the extra gift that Shenlong mentioned. Son Gohan said with a smile, what a powerful force. Gohan, come and fight with me, hahaha. Piccolo laughed. He clenched his fists, and the orange-yellow air waves on his body covered the sky, and it was so thick that his appearance was almost invisible. Haha, okay, I'll stay with you to the end. Son Gohan also laughed and instantly turned into a Super Saiyan 4. He knew very well that Piccolo could no longer compete with him without transforming. Orange Bic is something special, but it is just an ordinary Super Saiyan 4 form. But Son Gohan felt that it was enough. After all, he is no longer the rookie who entered Super Saiyan 4. Today's Super Saiyan 4 has become extremely terrifying after his normal strength and proficiency increased dramatically. They are no longer the same. If he were to face Cooler again, Son Gohan believed that he could easily defeat him now. Son Gohan exploded with anger and golden energy surged all over his body. The two of them were in perfect harmony, stepped down hard and rushed towards each other. As soon as they meet, there will be very intensive attacks. The four hands were so fast that they could not be seen clearly, and they hit each other with a loud bang. After the energy exploded wildly, Piccolo jumped high into the air and chopped down with his right foot like a saber, kicking towards Son Gohan. Son Gohan raised his right hand above his head and blocked Piccolo's leg attack. The ground cracked where Son Gohan was standing. After taking Piccolo's kick, Son Gohan began to fight back. He pushed his left hand forward, and an energy bullet flew out of his hand and hit Piccolo, who was nearby. Haha, Piccolo laughed loudly, not afraid at all. He reached out to hold down the whistling energy bomb and was then pushed dozens of meters away by the energy bomb. He exerted force on his arms, raised his hand, and swung it violently. The energy ball stuck on his hand was finally bounced off, whizzing into the sky and exploding in the sky. But Piccolo suddenly felt the hairs all over his body stand up. Just because he turned his head, he saw Son Gohan suddenly appear beside him, grinning at him, revealing his white teeth. Then he felt a sharp pain in his abdomen, and he spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backwards, his stomach cramping. Damn Gohan, he actually did it for real. Beat him till blood spurted out. As his body tumbled, Piccolo endured the severe pain in his lower abdomen and swung his hands forward. His two arms suddenly stretched out dozens of meters and coiled towards Son Gohan like two big snakes. Surprisingly, he caught Son Gohan very easily. Hahaha, I caught you, Gohan. Looking at Son Gohan, who was rolled up like a dumpling by his two arms, Piccolo laughed, but suddenly he couldn't laugh anymore, because another Son Gohan suddenly appeared in front of him and kicked him to the ground. Then he felt as if his arm was grabbed. A moment of dizziness. Son Gohan grabbed his arm, spun him wildly like a windmill, and then threw him out suddenly. Then a ball of energy exploded on Piccolo's body. What? Piccolo let out a scream and fell to the snow-white ground, plowing a deep furrow. He rolled over and jumped up. Damn it, is that the clone technique of Yadrat? Haha, to be precise, it should be called the proliferation technique. Son Gohan laughed, and then his body shook slightly. Like this, Piccolo felt his eyes blurry. Suddenly, he was surrounded by hundreds of Son Gohan. Piccolo was numb, looking at the numerous Son Gohans. Which one is the real one? Each of them has an aura that is impossible to tell apart. It's pure cheating. Son Gohan's body shook again, and all his clones disappeared instantly, leaving only the original body. Haha, Piccolo sneered. His body suddenly grew larger, instantly increasing more than 10 times in size to a height of over 30 meters. Hahaha, Gohan, you haven't seen this move yet. Piccolo laughed and stepped towards Son Gohan with his big foot. but that foot is like a sailboat. After all, the last time he used this move was at the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. At that time, he was fighting a life-and-death duel with Sun Wukong. That time, Sun Wukong hadn't married Kai Kai yet. Oh no, they just got married on the ring. In short, Son Gohan definitely had never seen this move of his. But Son Gohan's aura suddenly burst out and his body suddenly fluttered in the wind. He used his hands to support the soles of Piccolo's feet and suddenly became more than 20 meters tall and directly knocked Piccolo to the ground. Seeing Son Gohan become so big, Piccolo opened his mouth in surprise. Can Saiyans also grow to giant size? He was confused. Ha ha ha. Son Gohan put his hands on his hips and laughed. This is the giant transformation technique of Yadrat. Uncle Piccolo, it's useless for you to play these tricks on me. Forget it, let's not fight anymore. Piccolo knew he couldn't beat Son Gohan, so he yelled and turned back to his normal size. Seeing Piccolo getting smaller, Son Gohan's body also shrank quickly and changed back. Piccolo's emotions were very complicated. It's so miserable. Even after becoming like this, he is still abused by Gohan. Difficult, too difficult. If facing Son Goku and others, Piccolo believes that he can still fight, but what he is facing is a pervert like Son Gohan. Son Gohan's normal strength is too fierce, and after becoming Super Saiyan 4, he is truly abnormal, ridiculously strong. Gohan, you're so powerful. If you were me and Vegeta fighting, it wouldn't have turned out like this. Piccolo was very depressed. Son Gohan knew he was telling the truth. After Piccolo's transformation, he possessed power comparable to that of Golden Gorilla. It is comparable to the current Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, but unfortunately, he's too strong now. After transforming into Super Saiyan 4, even Piccolo with such terrifying power is no match for him. Not to mention that he can also make further breakthroughs. Son Gohan smiled and said, "Don't be discouraged, Uncle Piccolo. You have just mastered this transformation. Once you become proficient in it, it will definitely become even more powerful. You have now caught up with the three of them. From what I have observed, your current strength should be comparable to that of Uncle Vegeta, but you are still a little behind Trunks and my father. Try your best to catch up. And to be honest, you have one advantage that they don't have." Piccolo asked curiously, "What are the advantages?" Son Gohan smiled and said, "I don't know how much energy your transformation consumes, but in terms of physical strength, you are much stronger than Dad and Uncle Vegeta. As for Trunks, well, you are still a little short." Piccolo said, "The consumption is okay, but it's not small either. It may be because I have just mastered this transformation. Well, it will get better once you become more proficient." Son Gohan said with a smile, "It's rare to get in, so let's live in here for a year and get used to this new transformation. It is good." The seventh universe, the Northern Galaxy, an unknown dark planet, in a dark secret base. Dr. Mayo, wearing a strange uniform, is busy working. He kept flipping through the documents, then raised his hand and typed a series of codes on the computer. After being busy for half an hour, Dr. Mayo stood up, stretched, and then walked to a nutrition cabin. The square-shaped nutrient capsule is filled with viscous nutrient solution, and there are several energy delivery tubes inserted around the nutrient capsule to transport energy. There are also several nanoalloy wires connecting the nutrition cabin and Dr. Mayo's smart computer to facilitate data transmission. And in the nutrient solution of the nutrient chamber, a strange embryo is being nurtured. This odd-looking embryo has fully formed limbs and a head that looks a bit large. Dong 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 dong. The strong heartbeat continued, and even Dr. Mayo, who was standing next to the nutrition cabin, could hear it clearly. This shows that the embryo is very strong and more perfect than expected. "Doctor." Mayo had a crazy look on his face. He raised his hand and stroked the glass wall of the nutrition cabin with a bloodthirsty expression in his eyes. "Ha ha ha, baby, grow up strong, become strong, and then take revenge on the damn Saiyans. Those Saiyan monkeys deserve to die. They all deserve to die. Saiyans, damn Saiyans." Dr. Mayo's teeth were grinding and his face was grim. It was obvious that he hated the Saiyans. But he didn't notice that at this moment, the baby in the nutrient solution suddenly opened his eyes. Kakaka, boom, the nutrient chamber suddenly exploded and green nutrient solutions splashed everywhere. Dr. Mayo, who was the first to be hit, was shocked and the green liquid covered his whole body. Puff. Dr. Mayo quickly stepped back and spat out the mucus in his mouth. His whole body was sticky and he felt extremely uncomfortable. But he quickly came to his senses. The nutrition cabin exploded. "Where's the baby inside? It's over. It's over. Wouldn't all these years of hard work be in vain?" He began to yell nervously. Baby. Dr. Mayo stared at the broken shell of the nutrition capsule with dazed eyes, looking around for baby. But baby was missing. He was missing and could not be found in the lab. "How about a baby as big as me? Huh, I'm such a big baby." Suddenly, Dr. Mayo felt something strange. His body mutated. It seems like my body is out of my control. What's going on?" He watched with some horror as his body began to move and then walked around the lab. But he clearly didn't want to move. What was going on? It was a terrifying feeling that my body actually started moving on its own. This. Dr. Mayo found it horrifying. Suddenly, a red light flashed in his eyes behind the sunglasses. Then a ball of lavender flesh fell out of his body. The lavender ball of flesh rolled on the ground and then turned into the shape of a baby. Dr. Mayo breathed a sigh of relief, and his first reaction was that it was great that baby was okay. But he soon became nervous again because his control program code had not yet been fully input. In other words, there is a possibility that the current baby will not obey his orders. Moreover, it just fell from his body. So this is a wild baby, a baby that is out of control and ready to devour its master. Dr. Mayo took a deep breath and looked at the young baby on the ground. The baby at this time is different from when it was in the nutrient solution. After coming out of his body, its size had grown significantly. Dr. Mayo tried to communicate with him. "Baby, are you okay? Why did you wake up early?" Hearing Dr. Mayo calling him, baby's red eyes lit up and then he laughed and turned into a ball of purple mucus again and stuck to Dr. Mayo's body. Dr. Mayo was horrified. "What are you doing? Baby, get out of my body, this is an order. Get out." After he finished speaking, his eyes flashed red and he started laughing again. Get out, Dr. Mayo, you are so brave that you actually want to control me." Dr. Mayo started talking nonsense. Suddenly, two personalities formed in his body, one his own and one baby's. Dr. Mayo was furious. "Damn it, baby, you actually disobeyed my order. What are you going to do?" He then grinned sinisterly. Dr. Mayo, you are just a mutant robot I created to complete myself. You actually want to control me, humph, it's simply a fantasy. Baby, who are you? What does this mean? Dr. Mayo was shocked. It is unreasonable for a newborn baby to speak in such a tone. What went wrong? Dr. Mayo was terrified. Who am I? I am King Zyphel. Baby, who was possessed by Dr. Mu, laughed loudly. King Zyphel. Dr. Mayo felt that a certain memory hidden deep in his body suddenly awakened. He was originally a mutant robot created by King Zyphel, who implanted a specific program in him to allow him to create the current baby. Baby is a parasitic creature that possesses the memory and genetic cells of King Zyphel, and his purpose is to take revenge on the Saiyans. And the person behind all of this has always been King Zyphel, and he, Dr. Mayo, is just a tool to carry out the mission, or a puppet. It's just that this puppet has its own intelligence and wants to rebel. Dr. Mayo's eyes flashed red again and he fell into a deep sleep. In his place was Baby, who possessed all of King Zyphel's memories. Baby read all of Dr. Mu's memories and learned that planet Zivil, the original name of planet Vegeta, was destroyed by Frieza decades ago. Although planet Vegeta disappeared, there are still a few surviving Saiyans alive. Among them, there was a guy named Son Goku who turned into the legendary Super Saiyan and defeated Frieza on Namek. In addition to Son Goku, Prince Vegeta, Vegeta Roman IV of planet Vegeta, did not die in the explosion of planet Vegeta. He also survived as a survivor. The planet they live on now is called Earth, a very distant and remote planet, but this information is from more than 20 years ago. In recent years, Dr. Mayo's work focus has been on collecting energy and creating babies, so he has fallen behind a lot in intelligence. But this did not hinder Baby's plan. Baby walked around the basement laboratory and then came to the first floor. "Hello, Dr. Mayo." "Hello, Dr. Mayo." Everyone who saw him greeted him. "Yeah," Baby nodded. "These are the scientific researchers and soldiers recruited by Dr. Mayo over the years. It's his backup force." Babe grinned. "Provide one-stop service. Absorb energy, lay eggs, and then return to Dr. Mayo's body. After one circle, Baby has grown a lot. Go, prepare a spaceship for me." Baby ordered a subordinate who was kneeling in front of him. "Yes, Master Baby." A red light flashed in the subordinate's eyes, and then he went down to prepare the spaceship. A moment later, the spaceship Baby needed was ready. His first stop was the M2 mechanical planet. Baby operated the spaceship and flew towards the planet M2. In Dr. Mayo's memory, the most powerful warrior under his command was Lyrd, a mutant robot living on the planet M2. Lyrd, also known as General Luru, is the most powerful fighter under Dr. Mayo. Now Baby really needs this kind of strength to enrich himself. The plan went very smoothly. After landing on planet M2, Baby successfully met Lyrd. Dr. Mu's appearance is very deceptive. As a mutant robot created by Dr. Mu, Lyrd certainly didn't have too many doubts about him. Therefore, when Lyrd let his guard down, Baby took over his body. It is the same familiar one-stop service, possession, control, laying eggs, energy absorption, and fusion. Lyrd was completely controlled and turned into Baby. Feeling the powerful force in his body, Baby laughed out loud. Saiyan monkeys, your doom has come. This body possesses enormous power. I don't believe you can still compete with me." Baby laughed wildly for a moment, then absorbed the spaceship, and then absorbed the M2 planet under his feet and fused it. It can be said that the M2 mechanical planet was originally his body. He can control it and change it at will. Saiyans, I, Baby, am here to avenge all the Zyphel people." Baby's eyes flashed red, filled with overwhelming hatred. Son Gohan roared loudly at the pale world and tore open the spatial barrier between the spiritual time chamber and the earth. The master and disciple jumped out from the space crack and stood on the square of the Temple of Heaven. After a year of training in the spirit time chamber, Piccolo can now perfectly master the transformation into a new form, and his combat power has increased a lot. The transformation of Orange Piccolo is as powerful as Super Saiyan Blue. Moreover, this transformation does not follow the route of the aura of God, but is more like the evolution of the Namekian bloodline. Because of this transformation, Piccolo's physical strength has reached an incredible level. Touching his hair, which had grown longer and became a little messy, Son Gohan said goodbye to Piccolo and Dendi and jumped down from the Temple of the Gods. He planned to find a place to get his hair trimmed first. Let's see if anything dangerous happens this week. When falling from the Temple of Heaven, Son Gohan mobilized the power of Prophet in his body to predict whether dangerous things will happen in the coming week. Suddenly, a blurry image flashed through his mind. As a spaceship arrived on Earth, all the people on Earth suddenly mutated and kept saying that they wanted to destroy the Saiyans. Those pairs of blood-red eyes were boiling with hatred and were extremely crazy. The screen ends. Content is limited. But Son Gohan already knew that something was going to happen in the next few days. Who is this guy who can control all the people on Earth? Son Gohan thought to himself as his body had already landed in the East capital. He went to a random barber shop and got his hair trimmed. In my mind, I continued to wonder who would come to Earth to cause trouble during this period of time. First, eliminate that coward Zamasu. In this world today, Lord Kaioshin is still alive and Lord Beerus is active. Even if he had 100 guts, he wouldn't dare to fart and pollute the environment. It's impossible for Moro to do that. There's no reason for him to do that. If he were to cause trouble, the Galactic Patrol would have a big commotion, and the main battlefield is unlikely to be on Earth. First of all, the Saiyans have no hatred towards him. Well, I seem to have overlooked a problem. This world is chaotic. Even time sometimes deviates, so we can't just speculate on one side. A light bulb suddenly lit up in Son Gohan's mind and he grasped a memory. Control all the people on Earth, denounce the Saiyans, the Zivil people, baby it's baby. All the conditions match perfectly. The probability of it being baby is over 90%. After figuring everything out, Son Gohan's brows relaxed. As long as we know who the enemy is, the rest will be much easier. If you dare to come, I will kill you. By the time he had figured it out, his hair was cut. I looked in the mirror and was very satisfied. I was as handsome as ever, happy payment. Then I strolled around the street and bought some toys for a few children to take home. After a hearty meal, Xiao and Xiaofeng, who were already 2 years old, clamored to practice martial arts with him. Son Gohan had no choice but to teach the 2 children some things. But he didn't expect that the twin brother and sister were both geniuses. They could learn a lot of knowledge quickly, which made Son Gohan sigh for a long time. Back then, he started practicing at the age of 4. A lot of things happened during this period. Before I knew it, so many years had passed. Today, he is already the father of 2 children. I have a loving wife, children, a father, a mother, and a grandfather. Son Gohan looked at the bright, starry sky. So no matter who you are, don't even think about destroying this place. This is my home. Son Gohan clenched his fists. The night is getting darker. Master Xiao, Miss Xiaofeng, it's time to go to bed. The nanny came over and tried to coax the 2 children to sleep. Xiaofeng and Xiao were both very well behaved and waved to Son Gohan and Videl. Dad, Mom, let's go to bed. Okay, be good. Good night, baby. Bidili smiled and kissed Xiaofeng on the cheek. Daddy kissed this side. Xiaofeng pointed to the other side of the face. Haha, okay. Son Gohan laughed, kissed the place she pointed, and then ruffled her soft hair. Good night, Xiaofeng, have a good dream. Hee hee, good night, Dad. I want one too. Xiao Wu said with a pout. Haha, of course. Hee hee, I have to kiss Xiao Wu a few more times. Ah, Daddy's beard pricked me, Mom. Please shave him quickly. A good boy. Hee hee, good night, Mom and Dad. Xiao Wu waved his hand and ran out with a smile. Gohan and Videl were the only ones left in the yard. These 2 children, Videl was speaking with a smile, but before she could finish her words, she was pulled into Son Gohan's arms. Yeah, they're slowly growing up, Son Gohan said with a smile, holding his wife in his arms and continuing to look up at the stars. Videl snuggled in Son Gohan's arms, resting her head on his chest, listening to his pounding heartbeat. Gohan, what are you looking at? Videl asked softly, looking at the stars in the sky. Hee hee, we are like those 2. Videl raised her hand and pointed to the starry sky. There are 2 stars very close to each other, emitting a little starlight. Yeah, I think it's those 2 too. The next day, Son Gohan teleported to the North Kai planet. He handed a thick collection of jokes to King Kai of the North. Lord Kai, this is for you. Son Gohan said with a smile. King Kai of the North loves to tell jokes, but his own is not very good. So Son Gohan felt that it was necessary for Lord North Kai to review his knowledge in this area. Oh, a collection of 100,000 bad jokes. Thank you, Gohan. King Kai happily took the thick book, feeling very satisfied. Goku, that brat, has never brought me a gift no matter how many times he comes. Gohan is still better. Haha, my dad doesn't understand these things, and it's the same if I take care of him. Son Gohan laughed. Gohan, how come you have time to come over here? Is there anything I can help you with? Just tell me if you have any. King Kai patted his chest and took on the responsibility. Haha, there is indeed one thing I need your help with, Lord Kai. Son Gohan said with a smile. Go ahead, just say it. It's like this. I have a feeling that some bad guys will invade the Earth in a few days. Well, probably the remnants of the planet Zivil, so I want Lord Kai to help me find where he is now, Son Gohan said. Is that so? Okay, leave it to me, King Kai of the North said loudly. Immediately afterwards, the two tentacles on his forehead moved and he began to observe the surrounding starry sky with the earth as the center. But there is no doubt that such a large-scale search is very energy-consuming. After just a moment, a few beads of sweat rolled down the forehead of King Kai of the North. Take a rest first, there's no need to be so anxious. Seeing him like this, Son Gohan said, it's okay. If you take a rest, you might miss some key points. King Beiji said, it was rare for him to work so seriously. Okay then, Son Gohan said. Speaking of which, King Kai was a little irritated by Son Gohan. The main reason is that Son Gohan is too aggressive in his training, and now he has met King Kai, the god of destruction. King Kai of the North probably sensed the crisis in his status and wanted to follow him. Haha Gohan, I found it. King Kai of the North wiped the sweat from his forehead and a light flashed under his sunglasses. Son Gohan had seen this kind of scene happen to an elementary school detective. Son Gohan became more spirited after hearing this. Where? He asked out loud, but before King Kai of the North could answer, he put his hand on King Kai's back with ease and gained King Kai's perspective. Ha 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 ha, the first time is new, the second time is familiar. There is no need for the North King to remind him anymore. Why is this spaceship so big? Son Gohan was stunned for a moment in an unknown starry sky in the northern Milky Way. A huge spaceship is flying at high speed towards the Earth. It's indeed a bit weird. King Beiji also said, just because the spaceship is so ridiculously large, like a small planet. For a moment, Son Gohan began to doubt whether there was something wrong with his judgment. This situation is obviously more like the Metal Gear version of Big Star. But Gyula was the paradise he had sent to himself, so this was simply impossible. But after seeing clearly the people in the spaceship, Son Gohan suddenly understood. Laird, the best fighter under Dr. Mayo. His original form is the M2 mechanical planet, which has the ability to change automatically, and he can raise his hand to turn objects into metal plates. Even humans can be turned into metal plates by him. In short, this guy's abilities are not only weird, but also a bit complicated. So now Babe is possessing this guy. As far as I can remember, Little Goku once said that General Lild was stronger than Little Boo back then. Possessed by a guy like this, it's no wonder that Baby dared to come to Earth to seek revenge. Strength gives him confidence. Son Gohan put the middle finger and index finger of his right hand together and placed them on his forehead. He concentrated his mind and tried his best to sense Baby's breath. The aura on Baby's body was very complex, gathering the energy of many people, and it was extremely mottled. In addition, due to the long distance, it was not easy to find. However, with King Kai of the North conducting positioning patrol, it didn't take Son Gohan too long to lock onto the target. Great, this must be the guy. Lord King Kai, thank you, Son Gohan said as his figure flashed and disappeared in an instant. In the boundless starry sky, Baby's spaceship continued to move forward. Based on the speed, it will take another 2 days to reach the Earth. At that time, he will kill all the Saiyans to avenge the genocide of that year. Then he rebuilt the planet Zyphil and restored the glory of the Zyphil people. The Zyphil people were originally a kind and hospitable people, and had never been hostile to any other race. In the spirit of technology-based, we have been working hard to develop technology, thus neglecting physical exercise. As a result, its own combat effectiveness is not very strong. Until one day, the brutal Saiyans suddenly descended on the planet Zyphil. Those Saiyans turned into giant black apes and invaded their land. The Zyphil people, who had been focusing on researching technology, were wiped out without even the slightest ability to resist. The Zyphil people were completely destroyed from then on, and the Zyphil planet was renamed the Saiyans' planet Vegeta. Just thinking about it made Baby so angry that he was fuming. Hate it so much. Why were the kind-hearted Zyphil people killed? It should be those brutal Saiyan monkeys. This world is so unfair. Therefore, only powerful power can dominate everything. Now he has very powerful strength. Therefore, the brutal Saiyans should completely disappear from this world. Thinking that revenge would be taken soon, Baby was so excited that she couldn't help shaking. He could have had a good sleep on the spaceship and then reached the Earth directly, but he couldn't sleep because he was too excited. Can't sleep at all. Boom, suddenly the spacecraft seemed to hit something. Okay, Baby came to his senses and looked up, but he found that at some point a guy suddenly appeared in the universe, raised his hand and pressed it on his spaceship, forcing the spaceship, that is, its body, to an emergency stop. Damn it, who is it? Baby was furious and he transformed himself. The spaceship quickly condensed and merged into his tall metal body. Until I saw the furry tail behind Son Gohan. Baby's pupils suddenly contracted and his anger reached its peak in an instant. Damn it, Saiyan, you're a damn Saiyan monkey. Baby was so angry that he was shaking all over, although he didn't know why a Saiyan appeared here and blocked his way. But all Saiyans deserve to die, that's for sure. Die right there. Baby's anger clouded his mind. He pounced on Son Gohan, swinging his fists and attacking him. Son Gohan dodged quickly and all of Baby's attacks missed. Suddenly, Son Gohan's hand pressed on Baby's chest like lightning. Before baby could react, a strong wave of air suddenly gushed out from the palm of his hand, piercing through baby's iron body with just one strike. Baby's body began to break, disintegrate, and fall apart. Feeling the changes in his body, baby was shocked and angry. How is this possible? How is this impossible? This body of mine clearly possesses great power. Even Frieza back then could have been killed in one blow. How is this possible? Baby let out a heart-wrenching cry of unwillingness, then his true body was pulled out of Lild's body, floating in the universe, panting. As baby pulled away, Lild's iron body could no longer withstand the pressure and exploded, turning into metal powder in the universe. All I can say is that the gap in strength between the two is too great. Although Lord has strength that surpasses Buu, he is no match for the current Son Gohan. Son Gohan could easily defeat it with just a slight attack. Son Gohan raised his hand, pointing his palm at baby, and energy flickered in his palm. Baby, you have your reasons for revenge, and I also have something I must protect, so you can't leave here today. Looking at the energy constantly flowing in and out of Son Gohan's palm, baby was completely panicked. He didn't know why Son Gohan knew his name. All I know is that the Saiyan in front of me is really strong. So strong that he couldn't resist. If I could get his body, then, thinking of this, the originally desperate baby's eyes flashed, he grinned, and then turned into a ball of liquid and pounced on Son Gohan. Of course, Son Gohan knew what baby was going to do, want to take over his body, wishful thinking. The energy ball in Son Gohan's hand flew out and hit the oncoming liquid. The energy ball penetrated the purple liquid, emitting white smoke, which made baby feel a piercing pain, but the good news was that it did not completely destroy him. Aha tilde, at the same time, brilliant golden light burst out from Son Gohan's body. A strong aura surged out, and the airwaves that swept across the galaxy instantly enveloped baby. Baby was unable to move and returned to his original appearance, looking at Son Gohan with a look of fear and anxiety. Why, how could this happen? He has good possession ability, but he forgot that the difference in strength between the two was too great. Such a huge amount of energy as that of Son Gohan is not something he can easily control. Son Gohan was able to make him unable to move just by exploding his energy. The bottom line is that baby's current form is too weak, while Son Gohan is too powerful. The two of them are not in the same dimension at all. At this time, baby felt a little regretful. He was too impulsive, too arrogant, and too inflated. If I had known that I could have continued to grow up in a despicable way for a few more decades, I might have had a chance for revenge, but now it's too late. But who could have imagined that the Saiyans would become so powerful and terrifying? After a brief moment of panic, baby began to beg for mercy. Let me go, can you? I promise I won't come back for revenge. No, Son Gohan said coldly, raising his hand and pressing it on baby's body. Ah no, baby screamed, his body quickly melted, turned into powder and disappeared completely. Watching baby turn into ashes, Son Gohan said calmly, how could I let you go? Your life will only make me sleepless. It is certainly not wrong for you to come for revenge, but it is even more wrong for me to kill you. Although the Saiyans exterminated your clan, they also got the retribution they deserved, and that has nothing to do with me. I only know that you threatened the earth and my family and friends. In my next life, I'll try to be a good person. Son Gohan muttered and instantly teleported to planet Kaioshin. On planet Kaioshin, the senzu beans sprouted and grew again. This time I planted 56 seeds, which really looks like a small vegetable garden. When Son Gohan arrived, Jupiter had just finished watering the senzu bean seedlings. Son Gohan laughed and patted his shoulder. This man is the father of senzu beans and the king of God's world. Haha, Jabbit, you've worked hard. When Jupiter saw that it was Son Gohan, a rare smile appeared on his stern face. It's Mr. Gohan. It's not hard at all. I'm just bored, said Jupiter. Come and eat, everyone. Son Gohan called out, took out a capsule from the other dimension, and placed out the prepared food inside. Smelling the aroma of food, King Kai Shin and old King Kai also came over. While eating, the two king gods kept asking Son Gohan for some information about Beerus in a roundabout way. It seems that they are quite curious about Beerus. Son Gohan couldn't tell them everything he knew, but he also told them some of the things he could. Both sides enjoyed themselves happily. In fact, until now, old King Kai still doesn't know why Beerus sealed him into the King Kai sword 75 million years ago. He just thought that Beerus was displeased with him at the time and wanted to play a trick on him, and as a result, the seal had been sealed for so many years. Now that I think about it, I still feel scared. Of course, Son Gohan knew why Beerus sealed him, but there was no way he could tell such a thing. There are too many things involved here, and he is not the kind of person who talks too much. So no matter how old Kai asked indirectly, Son Gohan would not tell the truth. After a while, Son Gohan asked, Lord Kaioshin, can you help me find the location of Planet Vampa? Planet Wampa, are you going there for something? Asked King Kai Shin. Well, there is something, Son Gohan nodded. Okay, then please wait a moment, I will look for its location, said the King of Kings, and then began to look for it. After a few seconds, hiss, we found it. This planet is at the border of the Milky Way. It's very remote and the living environment is extremely harsh. Do we really want to go there? King Kai said, haha, of course we really have to go. As long as we find it, it's good. Lord Kaioshin, please wait for me for a moment. I will call Trunks over and then we will go together, Son Gohan said hurriedly. Okay. Before King Kai finished speaking, Son Gohan's figure had completely disappeared. Mr. Gohan is still so impetuous in doing things. This kid just can't sit still. He runs around here and there all day long. Old Kai also commented. Jepital chuckled and said, "Haha, I think our Kaioshin planet has become much more lively since I met Mr. Gohan," he said, scratching the back of his head, looking silly. When Son Gohan found Trunks, this guy was poking Lil Bulla, who was wrapped up like a ball of fur. Then he was loudly scolded by Vegeta next to him. "Trunks, be careful not to hurt brah. Be careful, bastard." Son Gohan didn't expect to encounter such a socially deadly scene as soon as he teleported over. However, after seeing Son Gohan, Vegeta, who had been scolding Trunks, stopped talking without saying anything. Well, Trunks, come with me." Son Gohan pretended not to hear and spoke directly. "Oh, okay." Trunks nodded and followed Son Gohan. "Brother Gohan, where are we going?" Trunks asked curiously. "Hee, a very fun place." Son Gohan laughed. "Fun place?" 3 black question marks appeared above Trunks' head. "Come with me to planet Kaioshin first," Son Gohan said as he stretched out his hand to pinch the back of Trunks' neck, but then he thought something was not right, so he put his hand on his shoulder and teleported to planet Kaioshin in an instant. Seeing that it was King Kai, Trunks was a little puzzled and said, "Gohan, what's so fun about King Kai? I might as well stay at home and entertain my sister." Son Gohan kicked him and said, "Shut up, you useless Sister Khan." Trunks rolled his eyes at him and said, "Haha, Brother Gohan is still talking about me. I wonder who goes home and hugs one in his left hand and one in his right hand. Aren't you also a daughter slave and a son slave? Good boy, you've learned to talk back." Son Gohan was so angry that he punched him directly. "Ha, look, he's getting anxious." Trunks laughed. There is a happy atmosphere all around. This guy, Trunks, has had quite a change in personality after everyone was resurrected, and he starts to make jokes occasionally. Just don't doubt his speed. The long sword behind him could chop down enemies much faster than anyone else. After punching Trunks, Son Gohan became serious. "Okay, let's get back to the point. I'm going to take you to a place called Wampa Planet. Gohan, can you tell me what we are going to do on planet Vampa?" asked King Kai Shin. That was the question everyone else wanted to ask, including Trunks. Son Gohan smiled and said, "I got information from some places that there are surviving Saiyans on planet Wampa, so I want to verify it." Surviving Saiyans on planet Wampa. Everyone found it a little unbelievable. Trunks said, "Could it be my uncle? I once heard my father say that he had a younger brother wandering in the stars, but I don't know where he is now. Apart from him, there shouldn't be any other Saiyans." Son Gohan said, "I don't know, so I have to go check it out." King Kai nodded and said, "Well, that's fine. Let's go together. Jepital, thank you for your help." "Yes, Lord Kaioshin." Jepital responded, "Everyone, put your hands on me." Son Gohan, Trunks, and King Kai put their hands on Jepital. King God gave Jebit the location of planet Wampa. So Jebit only needs one super teleport to planet Wampa. Whoosh, a flash of white light flashed. Several people disappeared. The next moment, they appeared on the planet Wampa. This is an asteroid on the border of the Milky Way. The resources here are very scarce, the climate is extremely harsh, and plants are also very rare. Due to years of strong winds, the surface of the planet Wampa has become bumpy and full of caves, looking like the face of a devil. These natural caves that can be found everywhere are crawling with strange monsters. Looking around, there are extremely ugly monsters, devilish caves, and a pungent fishy smell. Several people couldn't help swallowing their saliva, and they all felt extremely nauseous. Jebit covered his nose immediately. Is there really human life here? No matter how you look at it, this planet is a paradise for monsters. In addition to those densely packed monsters, there is also an extremely strange plant growing on this planet. These monsters feed on this plant and barely survive. If you cut off its stems and leaves, the plant will secrete a thick green liquid that tastes extremely bitter, fishy, and smelly. But even so, this is the only source of food on the planet Wampa. If you don't eat, you will starve to death. As the 4 of them looked around, the ground beneath their feet suddenly shook. The 4 of them flew into the air, only to find that the place they were standing on was actually the back of a giant monster. The monster was crawling on the ground. It was as big as a basketball court, with 8 thin legs supporting its body. It squeaked at the 4 people in the sky, alarming all the monsters nearby. "Hiss, what a big spider," Trunks swallowed. Just now they were standing on the back of the spider. That's scary," Son Gohan said as he raised his hand and pressed an energy bomb, blasting the giant spider into ashes. There are many big spiders like these all around, but they are not that big. There are 2 rows of white teeth in their mouths, and the 2 big eyes on the top of their heads emit red light. But if you think that they rely on these 2 rows of teeth to eat, you are wrong. It opens its mouth wide and can spit out an extra long mouth part from between its 2 rows of teeth. They use this slender mouth part to pierce the plants and suck the green juice from the plants to survive. This way of eating makes it more like a mutated mosquito, but it looks like a spider, which seems weird. It's just that this is a mouth part that has evolved to adapt to the living environment of this planet. There's a huge Tiankang not far away. The Tiankang is covered with lush green grass. The deep pit was surrounded by densely packed large spiders. Each of these spiders is as big as an elephant. They stick out their long mouth parts and plunge into the deep pit, absorbing nutrients from the grass. When smoking, it makes a strange squeaking sound that makes people's scalp tingle. Not only that, every time they absorb a bit of energy, a red light will appear in their eyes, which looks very strange. If such a monster were placed in the Tang family's plane, it would be considered a high-level soul beast of 10,000 years level. Suddenly, the pit cracked open and a huge head popped out from it. It opened its huge mouth like a deep abyss and made a loud crunching sound, swallowing several spiders as big as elephants in one gulp. Green blood splattered everywhere. This is not a sinkhole at all. It was clear that there was a terrifying beast crawling in the valley. Those spiders just now were secretly sucking its blood. As a result, it was ruthlessly killed and turned into its food. Seeing this, everyone fell silent. What the hell is this place? No matter how normal a human being is, if you throw him into this world for a few years, he will probably go crazy even if he doesn't die. Or there's a very strong atmosphere over there. Son Gohan looked up into the distance. Several people looked in the direction he mentioned. The weather over there changed. It was an extremely depressing feeling. Even the sky was rendered turbid. Hiss, this aura is indeed that of a Saiyan. Trunks said, his eyes suddenly becoming excited. Let's go and take a look. Son Gohan said, and the four of them flew in the direction of the breath. Thousands of miles away, inside a natural cave. The air here is dry and there are no monsters crawling around. It seemed as if the monsters didn't dare to approach here. Inside the cave were some bottles and jars filled with green liquid, as well as several edible-looking monster corpses. In addition, there are two humans. This is a surviving pair of Saiyan father and son, Father Paragus and son Broly. Paragus has entered the old age of a Saiyan. His hair is completely gray, his body is a little hunched, and there is a deep scar on his left eye, which means he is blind. At this moment, he was lying on a rough rattan chair, watching Broly, who was busy. His son Broly is extremely tall, over 2 meters tall, and has an unusually strong build. It is incredible that it can grow to this size while surviving on such a nutrient-poor planet. The busy Broly is shirtless, revealing his strong muscles, and wears a pair of sexy purple tights on his lower body. The fur tied around the waist is actually one of the monster Baia's ears. Baia is Broly's only good friend on planet Wampa. It's just a monster. Young Broly often played with Baia. Paragus believed that Saiyans should not be so kind and friendly. He felt that Baia's existence seriously affected Broly's combat training and the dignity of the Saiyans. Therefore, he injured Baia and tore off one of Baia's ears, causing Broly to lose his only friend. Because of this, Broly resented Paragus for a long time. Due to his physical condition, Broly often loses control of his anger and goes berserk. Therefore, Paragus specially invented a collar to be worn around Broly's neck. This collar can paralyze Broly through a special electric current to control his rampage. As for the remote control of this collar, it has always been hidden on Paragus' waist and has never left his body. Broly has a handsome appearance, with a rough and thick hairstyle, strong muscles all over his body, and his arms and legs look very slender in proportion. His body seemed to be born for fighting. By the way, there are also moon-like planets near Wampa, which can also generate blue light waves exceeding 1,700 WHC. Therefore, young Broly also transformed into a giant ape and ran away, but his tail was later cut off by Paragus. At this time, Broly and Paragus no longer have the tails unique to Saiyans. Broly held the stem of the plant in both hands and squeezed the smelly juice inside into a bottle. He buried his head in his work. Paragus just stared at his son. Because he has entered old age, his eyes are no longer as sharp as before, but have become cloudy. This is not only related to age, but also to the scarce resources on Wampa Star. Surviving on such a harsh planet, the body lacks too many nutrients. Therefore, there are just as many physical problems. Broly, we're probably going to die of old age in this crappy place. Paragus murmured in a low voice, and even Broly didn't hear him. I'm not willing to accept this, King Vegeta. Paragus clenched his fists, his thoughts going back to more than 50 years ago. Broly was born more than 50 years ago. He was born with a very terrifying talent. His talent even surpassed that of Prince Vegeta at the time. King Vegeta was worried that Broly's terrible talent would affect Vegeta's throne, so he decided to exile him to the lifeless planet Wampa. As a father, Paragus scolded Queen Vegeta and chased his son to planet Vampa. But unfortunately, both the father and son's spaceships were damaged. They were thus trapped on Wampa. This predicament lasted for more than 50 years. Paragus waited from youth till old age. Broly also grew from a babbling baby into a strong man like a tower of steel. But more than 50 years have passed. Neither the father nor the son waited for even a single spaceship. After waiting for such a long time, Paragus had actually become desperate. He had actually given up a long time ago. It is impossible for anyone to come to this remote planet. They can only die of old age here. Paragus' eyes were blurry and he felt sleepy. He wanted to strangle King Vegeta in his dream. He has killed King Vegeta 999 times in his dreams. But every time I woke up, I found myself still on Wampa. Almost no one can understand that kind of despair and disappointment. Damn it, damn King Vegeta. In a trance, Paragus saw 4 people coming into the cave. They blocked out the light, making the cave darker. Such a real dream. Paragus couldn't help but raise his hand and rub his eyes. Look again. Then he jumped up from the rattan chair. At this time, Broly had already stopped the work at hand and looked vigilantly at Son Gohan and others who suddenly appeared. It's just that he is not very good at speaking and he has been silent. On the other hand, Paragus suddenly jumped up with an expression of ecstasy. People are real people. More than 50 years later, he was pleasantly surprised to see a human being again. The fact that someone came to Wampa meant they must have a spaceship. Thinking of this way, he and Broly can leave this damn place. But happiness comes and goes quickly. Paragus saw the furry tails behind Son Gohan and Trunks. His pupils contracted rapidly and he became alert. He stared at Son Gohan and the others, slowly approached Broly and said loudly, "Did King Vegeta ask you to come?" Paragus thought that Son Gohan and the others must be Saiyans sent by King Vegeta. The purpose is to see if Broly is still alive. Since they are still alive, there is a high probability that these people will kill to silence them. At times like this, Broly needs to step in. Son Gohan's eyes stayed on Broly. After hearing what Paragus said, he smiled. "Don't worry, we are not sent by King Vegeta. The King Vegeta you are talking about died more than 50 years ago. Now even planet Vegeta is gone. Impossible, don't try to deceive me." Paragus sneered. "You want to kill people to silence them, right?" He hid behind Broly and asked loudly, "Planet Vegeta destroyed, is this possible? You are telling lies to children. It might be possible to fool the simple-minded Broly, but it is impossible to fool Paragus. After all, Paragus was once a captain. Sometimes it's just like that. The truth will not be believed." Son Gohan was too lazy to talk to him and said directly, "So you don't want to leave planet Wampa, right?" Son Gohan's unconventional approach left Paragus confused for a moment. In this situation, according to common sense, shouldn't I continue to explain to him or continue to lie to him? How come you skipped so many steps? Okay, you win, I want to leave. Paragus' thoughts were disrupted and he said blankly, "I want to leave." Then stop talking nonsense. As long as you, Broly, can defeat him, I promise to take you away from planet Wampa. Son Gohan said, pointing at Trunks. "Me?" Trunks pointed at himself in surprise. Son Gohan whispered in Trunks' ear, "Test his strength, but don't kill him. He doesn't look like a bad guy. So that's how it is. Brother Gohan wants to test the opponent's strength." "No, what did Gohan just say? Please play it backwards." Gohan said, "Let the big guy beat me. And then take them both away from Wampa." Yes, that's the sentence. Outrageous. This is really unreasonable. Brother Gohan, what you said is a bit too much. I am your disciple after all. How could I let the other party defeat me? Could it be that Brother Gohan was openly testing the big guy? You're actually testing me, right? Tusk, tusk, tusk. Luckily, I'm smart. I have seen it all. Come on then, stepping stone, wild big Saiyan. Okay, Trunks' eyes were excited and he clenched his fists until they made crackling sounds. When Paragus heard what Son Gohan said, his eyes lit up. No one knew Broly's strength better than him. Broly now, if he wasn't controlled by an electric shock collar, I don't know how terrifying it will be when he goes berserk. Broly could crush a waste like King Vegeta with just one finger, let alone these 2 Saiyans who look weak. His only goal was to leave the Vampa spacecraft. So I agreed decisively. Okay, no problem, but you have to keep your word. I always keep my word. Paragus also said to Broly, "Broly, then go fight him, but remember, don't kill him. If you accidentally kill someone from the other side, something bad might happen. Firstly, we don't know where the other party's spaceship is hidden, and secondly, we don't know whether what the other party said is true. Therefore, it is not a good idea to break the rules and kill people for the time being." Broly nodded and said simply, "Got it. Trunks on the other side. What's going on? You one by one, hateful." Trunks felt that he needed to be serious. "Come on, go outside." Son Gohan pointed outside the cave. Soon, everyone came to a spacious ground outside the cave. Maybe because of Broly, there is no monster to be seen nearby. Trunks and Broly stood face to face. Trunks took off the long sword from his back and threw it to Son Gohan. "Gohan, help me hold the sword. Since the purpose is not to kill the opponent, there is no need for a long sword. Using fists and feet can better demonstrate the excitement of fighting." Son Gohan steadily caught Trunks' sword of the brave and threw it into another dimension. Paragus stood not far from them, unwilling to stand with Son Gohan and the others. Mainly because he was afraid that Son Gohan and others would attack him by surprise. Trunks looked at Broly, who was a head and a half taller than him, and asked, "Big guy, what's your name?" Broly also looked at Trunks, and after several seconds he uttered a few words, "Broly. That's a long reaction time. It doesn't seem very smart." Trunks introduced himself. "My name is Trunks. Broly, turn into a Super Saiyan. It will be more fun to fight like this." Super Saiyan? Broly had no idea what that meant. "Don't you know what a Super Saiyan is? Well, there's really no one here who can teach you. Look like this." Trunks clenched his fists and suddenly burst into energy, instantly transforming into a Super Saiyan with a golden body. Broly's eyes widened as he looked at Trunks, whose golden aura was gushing out. This was the first time he had seen such a strange transformation. To be exact, he had never seen any other human being except his father. The Paragas on the other side were dumbfounded. What is Super? Super Saiyan? What Saiyan? Super Saiyan? Anyway, I feel a little numb. Be careful, I'm about to attack. Looking at Broly's dazed look, Trunks kindly reminded him. Yeah, Broly stared at him closely with a serious expression. Boom, Trunks stomped his feet on the ground hard, the ground cracked, and his body rushed towards Broly like a flash of lightning. Sorting out the ages of the characters in this book less than the current time is 784 AD. Son Gohan, born in 757 AD, 27 years old. Son Wukong, born in 737 AD, 47 years old, but Dragon Ball Super seems to have increased his age by 3 years. Vegeta, born in 732 AD, 52 years old. Bulma, born in 733 AD, 51 years old. Broly, born in 732 AD, 52 years old. Trunks, born in 766 AD, 18 years old. Bidili, born in 757, 27 years old. Kiki, born in 737, 47 years old. Sun Wushan, born in 781 AD, 3 years old. Sun Wu and Sun Xiaofeng, born in 782, 2 years old. Bra, 784 AD. Less than 1 year old. Klin, 736 AD, 48 years old. Tine Shinhan, year 733 of the Aki era, 51 years old. Jiozi, 738 AD, 46 years old. Yamcha, 733 AE, 51 years old. Piccolo, 753 AE, 31 years old. Turtle Hermit, 430th year of the aesthetic era, 354 years old. Paragas, birthday unknown, probably over 80.
Hello, everyone. As we wrap up this video, I want to share a quick note. I have a Patreon account. If you'd like to support me and enjoy on-demand audiobooks, you can become a Patreon member. Alternatively, you can check out my Google Drive link, which has 500+ novel audiobooks available through my Ko-fi or Patreon shop. I appreciate your support.